Happy birthday to Freeform Disney! Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to a special 1-year anniversary Freeform Disney big ol' Livestream event.
Yes.
With special announcements and, hey, at least a special guest.
See? I exist outside of Marvel.
Right. And it's outside of, one appearance in the old Snow White one.
Oh, in the old Snow White one, yeah.
True. And yes, Wally. Yeah.
But you could have modified your voice with that, with special,
Oh, yes. I spent a lot of time looking into how to do that. Yes.
We've got some fun announcements for you today. Hello, Dominic.
Yes, hello. So yeah, I get to be able to talk about all kinds of things. Probably go ahead and at least watch an old video or something from the channel. Go hit that very first video.
The very first one. Woo. So long ago.
Which is actually one you were involved on, too, to a degree.
That is true.
That was Snow White and Fear.
Yep, the Snow White and Fear, yep. Give a little bit of a take on fear.
Yeah. So, let's see. So, we do have a good few of you on already. Very nice. So, I said, where do we want to start here? Oh, man, it has been, it's certainly been more than a year as far as really working on the channel because it didn't go live right off the bat. Oh, man. For one time, I really had a whole bunch of videos all ready at the same time. Usually I'm working on, hey, look, it's the next video going out the next day and the next way and the next day. Oh, man. That's usually how things are. But for that very first week, had all 5 of the videos. I think they were all ready before we launched.
Yep.
So I had all 5 of those Snow White videos ready.
And we were thinking about it being Snow White, because that was kind of the first film to help broke out Disney. So we're like, why don't we make the channel, Disney Snow White?
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly the idea. I figured, what better way to start? The first feature-length animated film, we'll go with that.
Yeah, so speaking of, let's pull that up and go ahead and take a watch on it.
Sure, let's go ahead and roll with that, and then we'll make our first big announcement after that. As far as I said, there are 3 big announcements coming up, so we'll talk about the first one after that.
That has been a bit in the making.
Well, this is to be sure. So
are we gonna pull it up so the audience can see it as well? Yeah. Perfect.
Pop that over your way. Pop this over my way, so that way we can actually hear what the heck we're talking about too.
Put on my Leia buns.
Yeah, something like that, right? Well, hello there, the YouTuber. Oh, wow, nice.
Well,
good. I'm glad. I said I hope you've enjoyed everything. So
yes,
thanks.
I really appreciate y'all watching our videos. Especially Terry puts a lot of time into them and a lot of thought.
Tiny bit.
We love it that y'all are actually enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah.
And thank you for posting your first comment. Happy to see you. Or at least read your chat. It's kind of weird. It's like we talk this about seeing people, but we don't really see.
Oh, this is true, if you want to put it that way.
Alright, so now we're pulling up the first video of Fear in Snow White. And this is going to be a little bit different than the current videos that you're used to. Including a longer intro. Wow, that intro was long.
True. That was when of course, that was the very first video, so it doesn't seem like a long intro when it's video number 1.
True.
But I then was using that again and again after that for a little bit. So, yeah. Let's see. So let's go pop this up over there. And I'm going to make sure the audio is up for everybody, too.
Yeah, definitely want them to hear it.
Yep. And we'll go ahead and try to put it here. I said, so, again, it's my own video, so no reason we can't go ahead and play that. No copyright issues there. At least for once, right? Too many things with copyright issues you have to worry about sometimes, but not today. So we'll just make it a full display behind us here, shall we? go up like that. There we go. And hopefully the audio levels are good. Let us know in the chat if they are not. We're going to go ahead and react to this. Have our first big announcement sitting roughly after that.
Yep.
So here we go. Very first video, and this came out a year ago today.
Very today.
Yes, February 24th, 2020. In the U.S., before everything went it's completely crazy.
Yeah.
Should we really be so afraid of fear? Fear is quite common in Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Let's see what Snow White can tell us about fear.
What can Snow White tell us about fear?
I love that they came up the idea with the logo kind of being like the old VHS castle.
The old Disney castle that way.
My name's Jeremy.
Found a tutorial online actually that really helped me go ahead and make it. Of course, mine's different with the Mickey ears and such too, but
Put that a little flair to it.
Yes.
Everything in between. That's why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day.
Speaking of this intro that was on here,
Yep.
man, I kept this on here for a
Don't
while.
forget to hit that subscribe button. Now on to
Months.
today's topic.
I think at least a few months.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that.
Wouldn't put up a quick disclaimer here. Not that I think it's necessarily needed, but just to be clear, I'm not a doctor, nor am I even a psychologist. If you need help, please talk to a professional.
Just was worried since I was talking about certain things that way. I'm like, I'll put that in there just in case.
From the evil queen's fear of someone eclipsing her looks, to the dwarf's fear of Snow White, fear is all throughout the movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In fact, I'd say fear and how we react to it is actually one of the main themes.
You know, there's things interesting about Snow White and doing this.
Let's look at what fear
I know
is
some
and
people have
see how
thought,
fear
maybe
affects
Snow White was
the
one of my
person.
favorite movies, and
Here's
that's
how
part of
affects
why I
us.
did it. It really
So what
wasn't.
exactly is fear?
Heck,
Get education.
Snow White for me, I'm okay with it.
Fear is an
To
emotion
be
we
fair,
feel in
having done a whole
response to
week of
physical
videos on
or
it, I've got a much
emotional
bigger
danger.
appreciation for it
Or
than
at
I
least
did
when
before,
we
though.
think there is danger. Our bodies can't really tell the difference. Otherwise, horror movies wouldn't be scary.
I enjoy it, but it's just
First,
not like
there's
one of my
perceived
favorites.
danger. Then we have response
Not
to
yours
that
either, for that
fear.
matter.
Fight, flight, or freeze. Time to dispel a big myth, by the way. There is 100% nothing wrong with feeling fear. In fact, it is very unhealthy and dangerous not to have any fear. But there are situations where our reactions to fear can be unhealthy, or we can develop phobias, which are...
As I listen to it, I mean, I certainly did write a script for this, but I can hear it a bit in how I'm reading it, too.
Doesn't flow as naturally as you.
No, not as much as I'd like.
When I mentioned...
And that's actually an interesting thing.
thinking as a
People
danger.
don't necessarily know this one way or another, but sometimes my videos, I've written a full script out,
Phobias are things
and
like arachnophobia,
oftentimes, certainly, especially like on the Rebels and Clone Wars video, I just have like an outline of different notes, and then I'm just kind of making it up as I go and record at that time. But I do have the notes, so that keeps me at least somewhat grounded and making sure that I hit certain points.
Let's look at the
So-
movie. That's why you're here, right?
Should have
There
done
are
a better
few
cold read
great
than that.
examples of
That's
fear
not really a
right
cold
off
read
the
if you
bat
wrote
in
it though
Snow
either,
White.
right?
Even before
Hey,
the
practice.
Oh,
Like, definitely need practice. Like the first time you've ever done a YouTube video.
true. How many of them did I record in a row back there? I think I had like a 3 in a row recording session of some of these early ones.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest
I enjoy doing these
of them
things.
all?
Meow, meow,
Well, okay,
on
that's
the
not
wall.
actually what she's saying. Because we've all been taken by the Mandela effect. Actually,
I loved using Dopey for the Mandela effect. Whoa, diamond eyes.
Funny how we remember sometimes quotes being a certain way when they aren't really that way.
No, it really is, isn't it?
and you can see
Now, the Mandela effect is pretty freaking cool.
Let's unpack this. The Queen's fear is
Let
not
us
a
do
threat
that.
or any kind
Yes,
of
let us
physical
unpack
harm.
this.
We know it's not a fear of actually losing her looks because she voluntarily wears her
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the fear isn't of losing her
So
looks.
she's okay with
No.
voluntarily losing her beauty as long as she can get it back.
As long as
It's a
she's in
fear of
control of it.
rejection and
Yep,
illusion.
the theme of control there.
Perhaps also
Fear
a fear
losing
of a loss of
control.
power and control, as that is tied into her self.
By the way, all of those little things up around her mirror, just little symbols up around it.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Especially in those days. And how does she react to it? Most certainly a fight reaction. She doesn't freeze, and she doesn't run away from it.
Fight, flight, or freeze. Or what's the fourth one? There's actually a fourth thing in there.
Yeah, fight, flight, freeze, or
It uses one of the
geez, I can't
words that's
remember.
already in there in one of the others, so it adds an extra piece to it.
Yeah, it's an extra layer of the.
That's why I didn't use it in here.
This means that
Because it's
Yeah, and
potentially
it's a little bit more complicated.
right.
as
It's
well.
potentially confusing to toss that fourth one in there. It's newer to it and being talked about and used, and it didn't make sense to go ahead and toss it in there and just make it extra confusing.
next bit of fear.
But what is it? Fight, flight, freeze, refreeze, something? I don't know. What is it?
I don't remember
Dang,
off
I
the
can't
top
think
of
of
my
it.
head. It is fairly new and not really as adopted as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And heck, I did this a year ago, so I admit I don't quite remember what that fourth one is.
Perch on the well and listen to it. But then the echo from the well scares them. They fly away in fear. Loud, unexpected noises are a common source of instinctual fear. Loud, unexpected noises.
Well, this is a
I love
great
the
little
pictures of the
frame there on
birdies.
that one.
A giant animal that may have made that noise. Think lions or
And of course I had these images sitting around for me
more than just
because remember I also did the top 10 scary for Friday of that week, so that's why
Right.
those 3 images were ones I already grabbed because I used them for that. So hey, I'm talking about scary things, toss those in there too.
This is also why jump scares are effective in horror movies.
And this became, that image with the hag right there became the main image for the top 10 scary eventually, but it was not the original image.
One comes back.
And definitely that was a better choice once I changed it to it, because I think I was using the forest, the scary forest portion with the trees, and my thought was, hey, this is probably the scariest portion of the movie, I'll use that. But it's just not as good a thumbnail,
Yeah.
it doesn't catch your
In terms of catching
eye.
attention.
As opposed to the hag
It's right
popping
in
her
your
head in,
personal
which
Yeah.
is like, hello.
a little creepy. And then the prince is like,
It's interesting talking about how well these videos did too. Like this one did pretty well off the bat, but then again, it was the very first video on the channel that helped it.
slowly Snow White
Certainly at this
realizes
point, that's not the truth as to which videos are the best for how well they've been
and
viewed
comes
and
out to the
watched.
balcony to look at him and listen.
It's actually, well,
To put this in more of a
the theme park
psychology,
won Snow White Scary Adventures,
if
and
the
actually the
process
top 10
repeated
now.
over and over for
Although that top
days,
10 massively underperformed for ages. People just
Yeah,
weren't
it's
really
like
kept
didn't do so
watching it.
well, and then it went nee.
I actually re-released it as like a top 3. You know, and put The Lion King is really scary
Oh,
because I thought it was really good stuff and no one was really looking at it. So I'm like, okay, I'll focus it in on Lion King. Maybe people will enjoy the top 3.
this is not to say that it's
And it did do
impressive
well
to
at
see
first.
any
It outperformed the top 10 by a good bit. And then eventually, what can happen on YouTube sometimes, the top 10 videos started really getting views and just started going, woo,
Okay.
up it goes.
The evil queen
And, yeah, you never know.
tells to take Snow White out into the woods
I was sad when it wasn't doing well, though, because I was like, oh, I really like that video.
and to kill her. And he's like, whoa, Snow White. I'm not killing
Now, I'm happy with
her."
all these videos that I put out in the
But then
first
the evil
week.
queen says,
Of course, I was able to put more time into them, though, than I usually do, too.
If you
sure.
fail.
Because I wasn't under the push of making a
Huntsman's like,
video every
"Why don't you lead
day,
with that?
you know, and in the midst
Really
of
not a great
that.
salesperson.
I love this.
And so he is resigned.
You're really not a good salesperson.
I can only assume that
You can only imagine if people could have said something like that, right?
Mhm, yeah, but the fear probably kept them from doing that. A very good survival fear mechanism.
No kidding, right?
just like Snow White in the Dove. And in his flight, he will do whatever the evil queen commands him to do in order
That
to
is an
bring
awesome
her
image.
back.
Yes,
When it comes to the queen right there. It's like,
Off into the woods goes our
that
husband,
expression of
Snow White.
power and that stoicness.
We heard
Ugh.
the phrase fight or
Exactly.
flight. Really, there's more to it than that. Nowadays, it's typically referred to as fight, flight, or freeze. So, what is Snow White's reaction when she
Bringing up
sees
Freeze
the
again
magic
for a
sand?
moment.
Yep, which makes sense for this one.
Because can we so commonly talk about it as if it's just fight and flight? I mean, even now, that's still the phrase.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's easier than saying fight, flight, freeze. I mean,
That's
that's
how the movie ends.
too long.
Thanks for listening.
And there's been like the stigma of if someone freezes during, a dangerous situation, we get frustrated at the characters, like, damn it, run. But the reality is that, that is an instinctual reaction to a lot of people.
True.
And tells her to run away into the woods. Run, Simba.
It's hard to really know how one would react in one of those situations until, well, it
Snow
happens.
White runs into the woods.
Well, it's not necessarily the same for each situation, though, too.
Exactly, it can differ.
You may have a main way you react, but...
Yep.
And scarier.
And freezing may sometimes be the best thing to do at the moment in certain situations.
Vines become snake.
And if you got former trauma, well, now that's a different matter entirely.
Oh yeah, trauma's a lot more of layers to fear and reactions.
As well as being a really neat scene, it's a great example of potentiation. The more anxiety.
Some of the things I got into in here.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss doing things like that.
the scarier things we'll see.
Really do.
And man, was Snow White scared.
I've wanted to do more videos where I dug into things like, say, the psychology of whatever, or the science of whatever, or etc. But, the biggest trouble with doing that is, again, when I've been trying to do daily videos, I'm not saying I make it there, of course, that's another matter, but the amount of research that goes into a video to do all of that is a lot, at least certainly for me. And then I don't do these quick little 3-5 minute videos. Man, I only wish I did short, tiny videos. Because then I really could do, get videos out every day with ease and no problem. Because, hey, I've got only short videos. But I am not good at doing short videos. I just am not.
And Snow White is flooded from
Oh, well, thanks, Talk Drift.
Thank you.
Thank you. And well, hello there, by the way. Yeah, watching through the very first video on the channel right now, and then we'll have our first big announcement coming up after that. So
This process
that's such a cute picture.
I know,
Love
right?
that right there. The spider's like, "What the hell are you doing? It's my web."
Anxiety. It has had relatively low stress in their past. All of these seem to be quite true for Snow White.
I forgot. Yeah, it is over 20 minutes on that first video.
Quite interesting happens.
Impressive, isn't it?
The woodland creatures go ahead and show Snow White to the cottage of the seven dwarves. And then
Speaking of
Snow White,
picturesque images, just
Yes.
that it's nicely framed and whatnot. It's like, oh yeah.
she cleans up their house. No fear. She goes upstairs to the bedroom.
No fear.
And then she proceeds to go ahead and lay down across their beds and sleep.
Yeah, and I love how you talked about how in her life she hasn't really experienced fear that much. So
Yeah.
she's like going into people's houses, like, sure,
Yeah,
no
sure,
fear.
Me going into someone else's house? I don't think I'd be quite as okay with just doing that.
A little bit of a...
Just because I'm a big old scaredy cat. Well,
Speaking of the images, because I am doing the top 10 sitting around.
you see, there's this little interesting thing about fear where if you don't learn...
Of course,
to
scaredy
fear
cat,
certain
right?
things,
Anyway.
And Snow White, as a princess, certainly was not exposed to the same kinds of things to fear as everyone worships her. She lived a pretty sheltered life.
Up until she really had a certain spot of adolescence or whatever, she was the second fairest of them all, and everybody waited hand and foot on her, essentially. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
She
Oy
walks into
vey.
somebody else's house. They are going to go ahead and lay out the red carpet for her because she's a princess. This means she doesn't have those same basic fears that we would expect. And this tells us something else that's very important about fear.
Except of her
There are
mother,
two
or sorry, her
main types of fear.
stepmother.
Instinct
Because we're not in the original Grimm Tale. The very original Grimm Tale, we didn't use stepmothers back then.
It's
They
actual
were all
mother.
the actual mothers.
learn fear.
The Grimms changed that one later on. They're like, yeah, okay, maybe we should change to stepmothers.
That leaves her in the cottage, ready to be found when the dwarves come home. The dwarves immediately know something is wrong because the cottage is clean, and they're such messy slobs who hate clean things. That's all bachelors are.
Oh,
Disney stereotypes, gotta love 'em.
yes, indeed.
Although,
The more you
I
know.
will say that it's certainly better than the damsel in distress stereotype.
True that. True that.
The fear the dwarves all share is a great example of something called emotional contagion.
Man, there's so many little, things I worked into here.
I know, right?
Intense emotions such as fear. Even though there doesn't appear to be a whole lot.
And what
to
was
it,
your inspiration for
their
doing
fear
Fear for
feeds
Snow
off
White
each other's fear,
specifically?
and some
Well,
of them
I mean,
even
Snow White
all
came
of them work
first,
together.
so I was planning to do Snow
We, for
White.
one, probably wouldn't be
And
scared at all.
really, I was going, okay, what's like the main theme in here, or like at least one of the main ideas and themes of this movie? And fear really is what hit that, because did you watch it with me?
I
think-
maybe
well, anyway,
so long ago.
at least I watched Snow White again before jumping into all this. And that was the thing that really struck me, was all the talk about fear, and it's a big thing in here. Whether you're talking about the forest, whether you're talking about the huntsman being afraid of the queen, the queen being afraid of losing her power and control, the dwarves being afraid of, well, freaking everything. And really, the ending is conquering their own fear, really, to a degree, and what actually overcomes that, which really is about protecting others. The dwarves wanted to protect Snow White.
Yep.
So no, fear just seemed like a big core piece of what the movie really was trying to talk about. And so that's why.
Yeah, you even talked about how the animals' reaction to noises too.
Oh, yes.
Reaction too.
The animals were really afraid of Snow White, and then they got out of the fear, and came back. Same point here on the animals, too.
Mm-hmm.
The animals, which we know are very scared. I mean, heck, they were super scared of Snow White herself in the woods. Obviously scared of the hag as the queen. But they go ahead and fight because, they're trying to go ahead and protect Snow White.
Yep.
And that's like the big turning point for all kinds of people here, is that wanting to protect.
And Snow White overcame her fear by trying to protect. Oh, wait. No. She didn't.
No, she just kind of got knocked out by a poisoned apple, so...
Yep. She never
Yeah.
got to overcome her fear.
No. Not that she ever had as much fear in that kind of way, though. Her big moment, she was afraid of the woods and got over that fear.
She's got a really good example of what happens when you don't have fear on a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Going into people's houses without really worrying about the consequences, taking apple from a random person. And
Yeah,
just,
I mean, she had a little fear of the hag at that point. She only got a little bit, but not a lot. But no, she just doesn't have a lot of fear overall. She has that one big moment, but mainly it's everybody else with all their fears sitting here in this movie.
And our heroic dwarves vanquish
Mainly.
evil
Even if
Yeah,
the
and she also
scariest piece is
feared
actually hers.
the prince when he first popped up.
Really the light.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There is that little scare moment for her. She even runs inside up into the tower, and looks down at him from the balcony. This is true.
Rescued by Prince Charming.
As to, the rest of that, nah, perfectly fine.
It feels like there will never be fear again. Wait a second. Giant golden castle in the sky. Did Snow White really die and this is heaven? That got dark fast.
Oh, I love it.
Fear isn't a bad thing. And there are good ways of integrating it into your life.
Kind of one of those things.
We made it all the way through Snow
I
White.
wish there were
Talking
more
about fear.
jokes sitting in my
Hopefully you
videos
enjoyed it.
sometimes.
Hopefully you learned
Do you know how much
something
work
new
that
about fear,
takes?
too.
Yep.
That takes time. And scripting, etc. If I put out like one video a week, one video every other week, oh yeah, there'd be plenty of scripting time.
And share. What
See, there was my
fear
thank you
is
shout
fear?
out to you in there. See?
Yeah.
My greatest fear is of my family members dying. There are times throughout my
I need a
life
perfect picture for
where
that.
will just haunt me for a bit.
Not that one, but the
I've
other
been
one.
lucky not to lose any of my immediate family yet, but the thought of it just really scares me. I really, really don't want to be without any of them, and the thought of them being gone is such a pit of despair. I'll admit that my main way of dealing with it is to put it out of my mind and bottle it up. Probably not the healthiest way of doing it. Anyway, what about you? what's your greatest fear? Or, if that's too personal, maybe just a
Is it a
big fear.
ghost?
Let me know down in the comments below. I'll always try to respond to everyone's
Yep,
comments.
that's the
that
Jedi
ending
Council,
image.
even here right at the
That's
beginning.
my video.
I was using this one for
ever
thank you
YouTube video.
early on.
If you liked it, please
Oh,
give
right,
it a
and I
like
even
and
had
show me some
this
love by sharing
early
it with
on.
friends and
I think it's
family.
even sitting over in the same folder, so I
chose to
could
start
use
with
it,
Snow White
but
because it was Disney's first feature-length animated movie.
because it's kind of the thank you, and then to everyone, because hey, everyone's the Avengers Assemble, everyone coming
Not quite
together.
the Disney's folly.
It's kind of my thematic ideas, and also, hey, it was kind of in the different areas of the channel.
And I figured,
So we had Star
why stop
Wars,
at one video
Marvel.
about Snow White? Why not make a whole week?
I always
worth
wondered
of
if people
Snow White
thought,
videos
who might just randomly
off
pop into the channel,
for
find it
no
weird that
reason.
all of a
So
sudden,
this
hey,
Monday
look,
through
it's the
Friday,
Jedi
it's on
Council
Snow
from the
White.
prequels sitting here. What? When it's a Disney animated movie one, or we're talking the parks or something, and they see that pop up, like, what? I've always wondered about that, but never heard anybody say anything. So
What if on Snow White? Thursday will be all about the writing.
Oh, and you're
See,
advertising the different.
right, and when I'm advertising all, because hey, I had a for sure schedule at this point because I'd made the videos.
I hope you keep coming back to my channel and check out these.
Oh yeah, this is one of
Oh,
the
that's cute.
images I had for
Videos
using too.
daily
That's one we
with my
took
favorite
of
Disney news
the
stories of
billboard
week every
over in
Saturday.
California
So if
Adventure.
that all sounds great to you,
Just
go
like this
ahead
image
and
right here in the
hit the subscribe
background.
button and ring the bell so YouTube will let you
This
know when
image
I
right
drop
here in the
videos.
background is one
Have
we
a
took,
magical
or
day.
I should say I
And may
took
the
really,
force
but
be with you. Always.
I'm
You're
the
the photographer, the two of
I
us.
am. It's like I am the picture taker of the two of us. So yes, when it comes to pictures like that, that is going to be me.
Please go ahead and
Oh my god, yeah, Wanda can be very
yeah.
scary in WandaVision. Oh yeah.
You can tell what time of the year we went to Disneyland the last time I went to.
Oh. I love I'm looking behind us like, what? At a green screen.
Well, yeah, so right here.
Yeah.
Well, see, that is doing a good job as if it's really behind us. See, so right back here, you can see. But no, that's the last time we went there, 2018 now. So, late
Yeah.
2018 in November was the last time we made it to the theme parks. Unsurprisingly, we did not make it there last year, but and no, we didn't make it in 2019 either. So we haven't gotten to see Galaxy's Edge yet.
Oh, yeah,
really want to
just
see
edged
Galaxy's
out.
Edge. Of course, by the time we get to go back, assuming we go to Disneyland next, which is probably which of the two parks here in the U.S. we'll go to next, if I had to make a guess. By that point, Avengers Campus will probably open, so at least it'll be
That'd be
that.
fun.
I wish I could have gone while Soarin' Over California was back open, though.
Sad.
YouTuber, oh yeah, you were reacting to that.
Yeah.
There. Yes. Wanda was just going crazy.
Really
It's like,
scary. Ooh.
I mean, when you want to talk about scary moments, as far as the MCU doesn't tend to have scary moments all that much. It's just not what they do. But that is certainly an exception to that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, WandaVision has pushed further that direction than anything else they've done yet. And I'm guessing it won't be the end of that either. I'm guessing we'll see some more pushing. Also, there's been a lot of question on Doctor Strange 2. Doctor Strange into the... and I was about to say into the multiverse. No, not quite. Into the Spider-Verse, anyway. But Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Because there's been talk about whether that will be a little more horror-y. Even then, the MCU is not going to do a horror. But also Sam Raimi is directing it, too. So, and who you had before was also somebody versed in horror. So regardless, we're still working on somebody who is versed in being able to do a horror. So
It's going to be interesting.
yes. Indeed. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there and where all of that goes.
All right, so which of our announcements are we going to announce first?
Still had that on, didn't I? Whoops. So you know which announcement we're gonna do first. The one you want to go ahead and announce, of course.
Yes, So, our channel is gonna have a Discord!
Indeed.
For those of you who don't know what Discord is, it's a platform where there can be a lot of chatting, there's gonna be events, and every time a video is uploaded for Freeform Disney, it'll pop up there as well, so you'd be able to connect from it from there. So, sometimes, even when you're subscribed, notifications might not pop up all the time, so that's just another avenue. And it's just to get people together who love Disney, the different aspects of Disney, and just so we can chat. I'm going to be in there too. Jeremy's going to be in there too. And so let's go ahead and show that.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just pop that right on up.
Yep. Might want to pull the tab separate.
Okay.
Unless y'all want to see all the tabs.
You can see my other tabs I've got up for Freeform Disney. Here's a few different things on the channel up in the top up here. Let's see. This is just something for live streaming. I was looking up.
Yep. And this is moderate compared to Jeremy's tabs that he usually has up.
These are a couple things on the Patreon that I have over here from voting on top 10s. Because, patrons went ahead and voted on the next top 10 that's coming out. That'll be coming out in February. So every month the patrons vote on two different things. Top 10 video and a movie to do a watch along with.
Yep.
Also, the patrons did get early access to the Discord, so they were able to come in a few days early. So late Sunday we opened it up. So
yep. The patrons will also have a special room too where they can talk.
Yep.
So so this is the welcome page, as you can see.
Yep.
So we have a little custom welcome. And we have a section where when you come in, you can turn in the roles if you're a Star Wars fan, animated movies fan, or theme park fan. So you just click on the button on the bottom. And you can pronouns, flag, some kind of roles that you want, and of course the rules. In order to click into the server, you have to click on that rules. Daily quotes. We're going to be having daily Disney quotes from movies, from Disney. So we have the general page where Twitter feeds from Freeform Disney also come in, but also you guys can talk about things Disney and just new stuff or just things in general.
And by the way, most of the work in building this has been Natalia right here. So she's put a ton of work into building this.
Yes. Watched a lot of YouTube videos and did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And she runs a different server too, so that helps. But even then, tons of work into here beyond.
And y'all can share different Disney videos that if you know some and want to share some with other fellow Disney fans. Some fun memes. If y'all find any memes, you can come paste it here so we all can talk about it. This count is frozen. And depending on what you pick as well, there'll be certain rooms. Like if you choose a Star Wars role, you can pick as many roles as you want. You'll have access to the Galaxy's Edge, where you can talk about Star Wars theories, Star Wars memes, and share artwork if you do your own artwork or other artwork you might find on the web, making sure to always tag the artist, of course. If you choose Avengers, there's Avengers Campus area, talk all about Avengers. And of course, it all can be talked about in general as well, but here's a specific focused area that we can talk about. And a Freeform Disney, here you guys can suggest any videos that you might want Freeform Disney to put up at some point and to consider. And of course, the YouTube videos that get posted up will be on here as well, so you just click on the link and go directly to it. Patreon link and social link, and yeah, it's just opening today, so there's not much on there right now, but that's kind of our... We also have some fun bots in here, including Madai, where you can collect all these different characters as well. And Pokemon slots, so you can collect Pokemon.
Gotta have games on the server.
Yep. And there'll be some more games also introduced later as well, but for now, this is the beginning, base setup for the Discord channel, so...
Now for a bonus point, over on the side over there, get my right hand going. Always screw it because it's got to go the other way because I'm near reverse. But anyway, back over there, if you see on the side with all that, those are bots right there.
Yep.
Which there are a lot of bots in here, because back to how much Natalia has said, gee, went ahead and really designed this one. But hey, we've named them all, because you can change the names as they appear. So these are all bots from, the whole Disney universe, shall we say. So Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars. So bonus points if you actually recognize all of the references sitting in there.
Yep.
Lots of references. Oh, and hey, Lord Vader. Thank you for the congrats. I will ahead of time say happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday!
So, understandable. Hey, enjoy your birthday, definitely. Yes. Next Rebels live stream will be still, I think, is it another week from Sunday? I think it's a week from Sunday. Yeah, because I think there's a next video coming out here, and then one next week, and then I think the Sunday, I think that'll be the next live stream. So I think we're a week and a half out from the next one right now.
Yep. So, yeah.
Certainly more videos in the meantime. And let's see, we also want to go ahead and toss the link down for everybody, so you can go ahead and...
you can go join.
Yeah, doesn't work as well if you don't have it. So... we're going to go ahead and get that link up for all of you, so you can go ahead and join. So, yeah. Okay. And then hopefully, as I said, you can all jump on in. As I said, feel free to chat wherever you want to chat as far as all these different areas. And as I said, certainly... play some games, have some fun. If you know Discord, that's great. If you don't know Discord, come on in. No problem either way. So definitely. So that's the first big announcement, because, oh man, there's so much that goes into making a Discord server like that. And you want to talk about something that takes a lot of work. Whoa.
Yep. And it's really fun to have a space where we all can just talk about Disney, since we all love different aspects of Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, and just getting everyone together and just being able to chat.
Well, let me be frank. I mean, if it weren't for you having built it, I never would have had the time to go make a bloody server.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I have enough time trying to get videos out every day, or often anyway, however you want to look at that, let alone trying to get one out that often. So let me put it up over here. So there's the link over in the live chat. I'm also going to shove it down in the comments after the video's over. I'll put it out over there too.
Yep.
So. And
it'll be start to be included within the other videos as well down at the bottom.
And hey, in case you're watching this afterward, I mean, again, it'll be sitting down in the comments below, and hopefully the live chat replay will be there. But also, I just put it the YouTube chat up here on the side, so that way, even if for some reason the live chat's not available, or you're having a hard time finding it down in the comments, you can see it up on the screen right now. So that is the Discord invite link right there.
Yep.
Okay.
And you'll see me in there as admin 626.
Everyone knows what that reference is, right?
Yep, hopefully. If not, you must know. Stitch.
Yes, Stitch indeed.
My favorite Disney character, Stitch.
And I'm Freeform Disney. Pretty straightforward right there.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, a couple new people popping right on in already. I talk drift. Okay. So as I said, that's the first big announcement. The other couple will come up here a little bit later. So let's see, talking about the channel. Jumping back into some of that now that we have gotten as far in there as we did. So, I think I did. But anyway, we have had, how many videos has it been now? It has been a lot. I mean, it's been a year, so. Let's see. So in a year, we've gotten up, 200 and some freaking number of videos. It's impressive. I mean, also, some of the numbers just, there have been over 200,000 views on the channel, which, that number seems huge. It is huge. Over 11,000 watch hours.
Wow.
over 3,000 comments on the channel. So, yeah, tons and tons. Oh, and you're going to go take off.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for having me here. I've got...
Definitely. Only too happy to have you around. So there goes our special guest of the day.
Yep. Enjoy the next analysis.
Oh, yes. I'm sure everyone will. I said, lots of good announcements to come today. That's just the start right there. Okay. So, yeah. No, as I said, been a ton. And I want to go ahead and talk about some of those. Talk about some of, say, the biggest videos the channel's seen, too. And you never know. One thing that I certainly learned, you never know what's going to really do well. You can have a suspicion that I think this will probably do well as a video. But heck if you know for sure. And then there are the videos that don't really do well for a while, and then eventually, boom, all of a sudden they take off. So the first week was those 5 Snow White videos. And I did something that I miss a bit. So in that first week, I had one that was much more video essay, shall we say. The first one talking about fear, getting to dive into some of the science or other things about whatever it was I was talking about. The second one was a Disney Transformed, getting to go look at the original source. The third one, I did a what if video. Then I got to do kind of a lore history thing, which is what my Disneyland history videos have been. And then a top 10 video. So I had a great bit of variety right there as to what I did. I've not had that variety since that point in time here on Freeform Disney. Especially it got into doing kind of breakdown reaction videos. Because, people really started enjoying those videos. I had a bunch of things I was watching. There's new shows that were coming out on Disney Plus, and a bunch of you found the channel off that. But I have missed going ahead and having that variety, because I want to go ahead and have a bit more of that. Not just be reaction breakdown videos or something of that nature. But yeah, so that was the very first week, and then it was news videos. I did a lot of news videos for a while back there. 43 weeks or so, I think, I did a weekly news video. And eventually I stopped. It was something I was debating for a while. I don't know, maybe some of you who are watching right now really like the news videos. I know there certainly are people who really did. Heck, I liked them a bit because it also kept me that much more on my toes and be able to really be up to date on the different Disney news coming out. I don't quite have my finger quite as well on the pulse now that I'm not doing that. But the thing was, the videos didn't tend to do well. And it's a lot of work going into each of those. So I figured, okay, I'll just do something else, and yeah, but again, yes, I do the videos that I want to do, and yes, I'm also influenced by what all of you are enjoying and what you're looking at, etc. too. News videos that tend to be more focused rather than, hey, a recap of what happens each week tend to do a lot better. Just does. There's some inside baseball for you right there. Inside baseball. But yeah, heck, the talking videos on the channel, the 7th video on the channel was a review of Onward. The last movie we've seen in the theaters right there. That was right at that time frame. So before we locked down for COVID. And yeah, it's been a long time. I do remember that. Definitely not the best Pixar movie that came out last year, though. Gotta tell you, sorry, that was Soul. At least in my opinion. And then we came up on some other videos. So the video after that I did was a looking forward to Marvel's MCU Phase 4 in 2020. Which, I was talking about the straight MCU, so I wasn't talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when I was talking about that. Now, every one of those 4 things didn't come out, so the 2 movies and the 2 shows, they're all coming out this year, one of which is WandaVision coming out currently. But yeah, it's like such a bizarre year. And that was an early video. You can see that. But Marvel stuff didn't do well early on the channel. And I think that's part of a problem. And frankly, it still has its troubles. The live streams actually are getting people involved and really watching. And heck, that 3-minute catch up for WandaVision, people really are finding that. But I think to a degree it gets lost in the fact that while Freeform Disney sounds great, at least on paper, and being able to really go ahead and hit Marvel and Star Wars and everything else, I think there's too much association with the animation, say the theme parks with Disney, as opposed to Star Wars and Marvel, even if Disney does technically own them. And so I think it's just a little too broad in ways that are causing problems there. And so, in that sense, early videos didn't do super well. So the Phase 4 one there didn't do well. And I had a one on Wakanda. I went into the lore of Wakanda and made a good old video on that. And that didn't do so great either. And same was true of Star Wars. I actually had some Star Wars videos early on that I put out. I had a 5 cool facts about the speeder chase, and it just didn't go well. Now, maybe also that's because it's episode 2 and people just weren't interested in episode 2 for all I know. But also, you know, a cool one going into the science behind Padme's death, and also, hey, did Palpatine kill Padme? Those didn't do so well when they went out either. And that was part of that whole, Star Wars didn't break through on the channel until Clone Wars. Once I started doing Clone Wars, then Star Wars really started to break through on the channel. And I haven't really done a lot of Star Wars, well, outside of Clone Wars and Rebels videos, to be honest. And that I've been sad about too, because I really want to do more Star Wars that's not just all of that. And so on that vein, there is something that, as it definitely that is going to take a shift, because we are going to go ahead and have more Star Wars videos. There, as it, and not just more Star Wars videos, but also more Star Wars types of videos, not just reaction breakdowns like I've been doing here for Rebels and for Clone Wars, but also more what ifs and more top 10s and more going into the lore and theory videos and all of that kind of stuff, because that's stuff I want to do more of and really get a focus going in on there. And so part of what, I'm going to go ahead and do to help accomplish that and make sure that works is I'm going to go play this, and you will get to all watch it, and then I will talk about it. That is what I'm going to do here. So I am going to disappear actually for a second. My face will go away, and you'll get to see this. So here we go. And with that, I'm back. So, second big announcement for today is Freeform Star Wars. So, Freeform Star Wars is a separate channel from Freeform Disney. Now, I already have the channel up. There's no videos on it yet. The first video for the channel will go up later today. So, it's Pacific Standard Time here. It's about 1 o'clock here. I didn't want to go ahead and put it out before this, so it'll be heading up over there. And as I said, there are actually links down below, I think, in the description to this video. I think I did make sure to get them in there. So you can go ahead and find this. Let me double check and make sure I'm not lying to all of you right now, because I might be. And I am. Okay. Always good to lie to my audience, I do say. Don't mind me. Yeah, I don't recommend lying to your own audience, you know? So, let me put it here. So there is Freeform Star Wars. Now, for the time being, Rebels will stay on Freeform Disney. I'm not just going to hike that right on over, because nobody's going to be ready for that yet. So it's going to stay here for the moment. But I will have that, and there are going to be at least 1 to 2 videos a week over on Freeform Star Wars. And as I said, other than, just talking Rebels. So that will move over eventually, probably in at least another few weeks or so, maybe a month, 2 months, somewhere in there. We'll see how things are going and when things should shift over. But it will shift over eventually, just not yet. But the first video there, if you like the Not a Villain series and the misunderstood Disney villains, well, that's actually going to be a first video. I'm going to be talking about Palpatine. Going ahead and defending the indefensible right there. So that'll be going up later today, and you'll be able to go ahead and watch that over on the Freeform Star Wars channel. So as a first announcement, letting every Star Wars people, and that means, hey, if you're just into Star Wars, this should work a lot better for you. And hey, if you're interested in everything, if you're interested in all Freeform Disney, obviously you can subscribe to Freeform Disney and Freeform Star Wars. There's no reason you can't subscribe to both. But that way, hopefully, it works a little better for everyone who has more specific interests on what they're hoping to see. So I'm really hoping that'll help out. Because I know that can be a mess when there are so many different subjects going on. I did, Lord Vader. I did indeed. I said the news just came out. So yeah, Bad Batch will be on May 4th. And I'm hoping... Obviously, they're going to start the first one there, and that's unsurprising. I'm hoping they stick to Tuesdays, or not Fridays at any rate. And yes, there will definitely be watch-alongs. Oh, 100% there will be. So we will be watching, well, when I say we, I mean me. Natalia's probably not joining me watching Bad Batch. But as I said, definitely I will be watching Bad Batch with all of you. And then we'll be talking about it, I'm sure, throughout the week to some degree. So yeah, no, definitely 100%. So that's just over 2 months away. I missed my guess on when it would come out, too. I was guessing April. So mid-April was my guess. A little bit later. But hey, a nice thematic day for it to come out on. So yeah, 100%. Definitely watching it with all of you. And as I said, I couldn't imagine that'll be going anywhere other than Freeform Star Wars as to where I'll be watching it at. So, yeah. Over on Freeform Star Wars, watching with all of you, so come join me there. And subscribe, ring the bell, all that good jazz. You could hear some of that stuff again. Maybe I should mention ringing the bell more. I mean, I don't know how much people do know it or don't know it. But, as I said, the ringing the bell is what gets you the notifications. Otherwise, YouTube might show you, might not show you when there's a new video. Messy stuff. Hello there, Obi-Wan. Things are going well. We've announced a few things. You can see them up over in the chat, too. The Discord server. So Freeform Disney, or the Freeform Disney family, as I'm starting to call it now, has a Discord server. So you can go in there, be able to chat with everyone. There's games. There's plenty of different rooms. So lots of space to grow. And then also Freeform Star Wars. So it's its own channel. It's going to have at least 1 to 2 videos a week. The Rebels videos are not moving over there yet. They will eventually. But for at least probably the next few weeks to maybe 1 or 2 months, somewhere in there, before they move over. Again, because it's an ongoing series and a lot of people are subscribed here, I'm not going to just jump that over to Freeform Star Wars and leave people behind in the dust. But there will be other videos. Starting with that one on, well, defending Palpatine. Not really defending Palpatine, but giving a different point of view. I like different points of view. Why did I not say that when I recorded that one? things you think about after you record, right? Anyway, that video will go up later today. And I'm thinking the second video that will go up over on Freeform Star Wars coming up next week, I'm thinking about doing a what if, and it will be what if Anakin went with Ahsoka to Mandalore. I mean, I think I've mentioned that as an interesting question beforehand, and I just love the idea of what the heck would happen then, right? It's such an interesting question. So, yeah, I think that's the second video for Freeform Star Wars. Okay. By the way, if anybody's got questions on the channel or anything else, feel free to post them in there. I'm more than happy to respond to any kinds of questions you guys all have. I love interacting with you. I love getting to answer your questions. So let's see, what else? Obi-Wan, you've got, did I see the Spider-Man 3 teaser yet? Oh, no, I did not. They actually put one out. I missed that. I mean, there's been a lot of teasing about Spider-Man 3 with the title and whatnot recently. I know that. Interesting. And, well, hello there, Alexander Hamilton. Thank you for the congrats. Geez, I've been so busy. I missed that there's a teaser trailer for Spider-Man out. Oh, that is how it goes sometimes, huh? Just when you think it's safe. That's probably part of why all the teasing was going on just yesterday in regards to all that, huh? Oh, and it looks like on the Pixar front, we've got a teaser trailer for Luca coming up tomorrow at bright and early if you're West Coast. If you're here in my time frame, it's 6 in the morning. Woohoo! Oh, good. I'm glad you're looking forward to the what ifs, Vader. Yes, I said I've been wanting to do some, and I haven't done any yet. So it was always one of the tricks I had too with Star Wars. I always had more Star Wars I wanted to do, yet I was doing so much Star Wars that it felt like I was taking over the channel with Star Wars before if I did it, and I couldn't. Wait, with a Freeform Star Wars channel, I don't have that worry. So it's all good. Am I looking forward to Venom 2 in June? I can't say as I really am. Might watch it. Probably watch it. I said, wasn't a giant fan of the first one, so what can I say? I'm looking for Spider-Man. But, yeah, I said, who knows? Maybe it'll defy my expectations. It'll be a lot better than I'm expecting. You never know. You never know right there. But we have a Spider-Man teaser already. That is cool. Okay. So yeah, I will definitely have to look at that right there. Interesting. I mean, let's see if I can pop it up. Maybe we'll just watch it together right now. Go watch the teaser for Spider-Man 3, huh? Although if it's up, well, I should be able to find it on Marvel's channel. Let's see if there is a teaser on it. Seems early in the year for one. It doesn't come out till there. Although I suppose it is Sony, isn't it? Let's see. I don't see anything over there. Here we go. Oh, it's just a big thing on the title. So talking about teaser as a teaser. Wow. Okay. This must be what we're talking about. It just came out 3 hours ago, it looks like, for the new Spider-Man title. Well, let us go watch that, shall we? Let's assume this won't kill us on our monetization here or anything else. Let's hope I don't get my cords tangled up so I can actually do this without killing myself here. Hold on. Cord difficulties. Here we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this. It's a teaser. Hopefully we're all good. I will go ahead and put up a mid-display over here. There we go. And let us go watch this teaser for Spider-Man. So I'll just go watch that with all of you right now.
Alright, so?
Gave us a fake name again. I just don't understand why he keeps doing this.
You don't understand?
Really?
I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You just spoil things.
I don't spoil things. Name me one thing that I've actually spoiled.
It's No Way Home. Very fitting. Very fitting. I actually saw something just recently. Here, I want to pause in on that for a second. But what was it? I think I have it up here. Yeah, see this article from Independent actually, where apparently they found that there were 6 titles that had just been registered. And I had just seen this yesterday evening, I think. And I was looking through these titles right here, and funny enough, that was actually the one that made the most sense. It was either that or Homeworld, possibly as one, just because you're multiversing. But No Way Home just makes so much sense as a title, especially with how we ended Spider-Man 2 here, Spider-Man Far From Home. It's like, ooh, there's no way home at all. And if we're bringing in, say, a couple other Spider-Mans, well, then there's certainly a little else going on right there, too. Now, that said, let's pop this up for a second. Okay. So look at all the fun they had on this whiteboard here. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Stay at home. Stop. Hard pass. Zooming home. Please stop. Close to home. It's too close to home. But can't find home. What? Homeworlds. Boring. A little bit, I'll admit. Although Homeworld, because of the multiverse connotation, actually could be fun as a title. Home Sweet Home. Oh man, I could see them use a title like that. Oh, in a future Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man 4, Home Sweet Home. Work from home. Wanna go home. No way home. Home run. No place like home. Trademarked. Home Alone. Although apparently they actually even registered that website for reasons unknown. I'm like, that was like on those 6. It's like, there's no way you're using Home Alone. Homemade. That'd be like his special little film. Because that was a special feature. Actually, no, it was deleted scenes. That's what it was. From the first Spider-Man, where he actually did a lot of filming that actually went behind the scenes in terms of, well, Civil War. But I think they cut most of it out, or all of it out of the movie, right? But that could be homemade, right? Just a whole, a little short with film stuff, as if he was filming it on his phone right there. That would be fun. Homesick. Webcamming. Keep it PG. Needs home. Far From Home. Come on, we did this already. Yeah, good times. I love all the other little pieces in here too, though. We've got all the chemical compounds in here, which are interesting in the first place. As well as some other symbols, like this one sitting up here. Etc., etc. Ah, cool stuff. Whoop. I did not click the wrong button. I meant to have that go away, not me go away. I'm back. Yeah, the hexagons are intriguing. So I said, it's a WandaVision reference. It's all about Wanda. That's why there are hexagons everywhere. It's not chemistry. It's Wanda. It's been Wanda all along. Without saying more there. I'll hold off there and not say anything that might be a spoiler anyway. Let's see. Homeschooled. Aunt May says no. Yes, exactly. Do I think the Sinister Six will be in the movie? Oh, it's an interesting question. There's been a lot of talk about them building up the Sinister Six and having different pieces in there. So, it's possible. The problem is, man, that's a lot to do, because it's going to have to juggle with the multiverse, and then you're going to have to juggle with the Sinister Six as well, juggle that many different characters. Man, that sounds tricky. It just does. I mean, okay. So, who do we have? The Sinister Six is what? Electro. Her popping up. I mean, Electro, Mysterio, Dr. Octavius. Let's see. And so the original Sinister Six was Electro, Kraven, Mysterio, Sandman, and Vulture. Wait, that and what? Right, and of course Dr. Octopus. So we've certainly heard plenty of rumor on Dr. Octopus from the Fox universe appearing in it, as well as also hearing about Electro coming over, and that's actually been a little more confirmed. Then Mysterio's been in our universe, although supposedly dead. Sandman could even come over to the Tobey Maguire verse right there. Maybe that's what I should call it, because they're both Fox, so. But, and then, heck, if Vulture is there, I mean, Vulture could definitely come back in. We've teased him potentially coming back in before. And then that just means bringing Kraven and you're good. Then you would have Kraven, Vulture, Mysterio from our universe, Sandman and Octopus from the Tobey Maguire verse, and Electro from the Andrew Garfield universe. So no, I mean, they certainly could, and it would be utterly intriguing if they did. Would be fun. Would definitely be a ton of fun. Okay, sounds good, Obi-Wan. Thank you definitely for the congrats. Yeah, exactly. Because Scorpion was the other one that we talked to over in that post-credit scene over in Spider-Man Homecoming back there. And we had Vulture and him both popping together, so yeah. You could definitely replace Kraven with him. That can make some sense. And after all, Sinister Six was hardly the same thing every time around anyway. Changed a few times. I mean, heck, the very second incarnation, Kraven's dead, so put in Hobgoblin, apparently. So, yeah. By the way, on this note, why don't I just go ahead and prep the second piece as far as third piece actually on the reveals, because first was Discord, second was Freeform Star Wars. I will just go ahead and get the third one ready. I think that is what I shall do right now. As soon as I find where I put it. Always good when I misplace it. Works well. Yeah. Let's see. Let me find this for a second. Assuming I do have it sitting around here somewhere. You would think I would. You'd be wrong. Oh, because of course I don't for some reason. No idea why I don't, but I don't. Well, okay. I'll have to hold on for a second on that one then, I guess. Huh. I have nothing if not surprising to myself sometimes. Hey, gotta keep myself on my toes, right? You wouldn't want life to be too easy here. Okay. Almost there. Yeah, can't have things to be too easy now, can you? Let us see if I do this and this. And then do this over here. Yeah, I'll have it up here in just a second. Oh man, I can't believe I didn't do that. Oh, go me. Super professional on my part here. Luckily, you're all sticking with me here. After all, you wouldn't want to not be here for the reveal here in a second. I mean, you gotta stick with me for a second, right? Let's see, what else do we have over there? Is it confirmed if all 3 Spideys will be... No, it's certainly not confirmed. And really, I think the rumor was that they would be in the Spider-Man movie, was the rumors I was hearing, not about them being in Strange. But, again, confirmed is not going to happen until, well, they show up in a trailer or the movie comes out. Not any official confirmation, I'm sure. But we haven't even gotten the level of Hollywood Reporter or Deadline reporting it yet. So until we get there, because when those two report it, I can be fairly confident on it, at least at that point. But we have not made it yet to that point. I mean, we will get there. But yeah, and that'll come long before we get an official confirmation. And looking forward to that. Okay, here, let me go ahead and pop up what I was going to go ahead and pop up for all of you here now. So this is the other reveal, and it's fitting considering what we've been talking about here recently. So here we go. We'll go ahead and mute my side so you don't get to hear a train. So there we go. There's the last piece of it right there. So Freeform Marvel. So the Freeform family. Freeform Disney family. So yes, just like Freeform Star Wars will have its own channel, Freeform Marvel is also going to have its own channel. And so, yeah, going to be having plenty of stuff coming out over there. And let me go ahead and drop the link up over here, so all of you can have that link to jump over there. Again, just like Freeform Star Wars, there's not a video on it yet. There will be one later today. But as I said, you will have to wait until later today for that. Oh, and also similarly, I am not going to go move the WandaVision videos over there right now. So the live watches of the WandaVision, those watch parties, will stay here on the main Freeform Disney channel for the moment. Again, I don't want to shove that all the way over there. Thank you. Yeah, there was so much debate when I was first making them as to how I wanted to do it. And I decided to keep it so it was that same rough logo, but, you know, the colors that fit more into whatever. And, oh, you don't want to know how long it took to find whatever music pieces for them. Oh, man. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Yes. I was pretty glad on how they turned out, and I was hoping everyone else would love them too. So I'm really glad to hear you're loving them there. So good. So yeah, so as I said, the first one will come up later today. And by the way, I kind of on a theme here on the whole not a villain, misunderstood Disney villains. So I'm defending another indefensible person, and we're gonna do it for Marvel too. So for Marvel, I'm defending Ultron. Oh, does not mean I agree with Ultron or Palpatine just because they put out a video like that. But it's fun to do them. It really is. It's a fun exercise of, okay, how do I make a case for these people? At least to make enough of a case to say, hey, they're misunderstood at the very least. But anyway, so that should be fun, and then there will be more coming out later as we go forward into the future. So yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've got a point. It doesn't mean we quite agree with them, but it doesn't mean they don't at least have a point. And I'm not sure what the next video will be on Freeform Marvel after that yet. I haven't decided. So, unlike Star Wars, where I'm pretty bloody sure I'm doing that what if right there, Marvel, I haven't decided what next week's video will be. And I don't think there will be a second video this week, by the way. I'll say that. I mean, there's been less videos here on the main channel you may have noticed over the past few weeks. And certainly part of that has been heavily working on looking into all this on the videos, working on building all this stuff for the other couple channels, and actually the Discord too. Even if Natalia's done most of the work on the Discord, I've done some there too, so that as well. So yeah, it's been a little quieter here on the home front. Home front. Spider-Man reference. Yeah, it can be an interesting motive. Still murder. And genocide in both cases, really. It's like mass murder. I mean, it's even mass murder in Ultron's case, even though he wanted to be a far bigger mass murderer than he was. Ooh. Yeah. Well, if we're talking villains, or Killmonger. I mean, Killmonger is somebody whose point of view you can really see and understand as well. Thanos, I agree, yeah. The biggest problem with Thanos is I just don't think his plan would work. I mean, the idea is nice, but you took out the population by half. How long is it really going to take for all that population to get right back there anyway? That's my biggest problem. So you kind of have to take that one and be like, okay, we're just going to accept that would solve things and not just be a temporary bandage fix. But yeah, no, there are some interesting villains definitely to talk about. Oh, Killmonger was a great villain. Oh, definitely part of what made Black Panther as good a movie as it was right there. Part of the problem Marvel's had is like, dang, on those villains right there, we need some better villains. Ones that are more three-dimensional. It's not that they can't be fun, don't get me wrong, but just build them out more. No carbon copies of our heroes, shall we say. Hello there, Sportan. Thank you for the happy anniversary on the channel. Thank you, definitely. Definitely. No, it's been an interesting time in the MCU, and we've got so much more coming up in the MCU. I mean, we've got no shortage of that anytime soon. This year right here, new Marvel stuff every single week for the rest of the year. Man, that's crazy. Lately they have had better villains. This is definitely true. I said even Ant-Man 2. Even the second Ant-Man, so Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'll even grant that one as better than the typical villain that they've had sitting over in Marvel. What else has there been? Captain Marvel's villain was not all that impressive to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jude Law, plays a good part as far as his acting and whatnot's concerned there, but character felt a little too cliche. So, yeah. I mean, whatever's going on with Spider-Man, whoa, we could be in for interesting villains there. And Black Widow coming up, we've got Taskmaster. Don't know how they'll be presenting Taskmaster exactly. Eternals, I have no idea who the villain is in that. Not the slightest clue. Who do I think the villain is going to be for Spider-Man? I don't know. I mean, that Sinister Six theme is definitely a possibility. And so that could definitely be where we're going. I mean, certainly I've heard about Electro and Dr. Octavius as heavy rumors for them being in there. I mean, heck, hard to say, right? Because of the multiverse aspect, it's what really screws with me as to who the villain's going to be. So if I had to guess, I'm saying that Scorpion probably from our own universe is going to pop up. And I'm going to guess that those rumors on Dr. Octavius and Electro are real. Actually, the Electro thing is a little heavier. I think that one actually came out of Hollywood Reporter even. So that's my guess. And hopefully here's to having many, many more Spider-Man movies in the MCU in the future. Hopefully that does not go away. I mean, heck, he's young. We can go ahead and keep Tom Holland around for a long time playing Spidey. Yes, please. Oh, geez. Spider-Man merging with Venom and Carnage. Phew. That's going to be fun when it comes around. But I don't think they're going to do it this time. I really, with everything else going on, I think that would be a bridge too far with how many things they had to try to fit into one movie right there. If we are doing multi-universes, all the rumors seem to make it out to be. If we're not, then yeah, sure, what? We can definitely go that way. Yes. Let's see. But yeah, no, as I said, once we side note, once we really get like the Freeform Marvel channel going and the Freeform Star Wars channel going, then I'll be able to just pop in there. You know, hey, look, we got a teaser on Marvel. Just pop on in and we'll do a video there, whether I'll do it live or whether I'll record something and then play it back. Either way, but it'll be so easy to just pop things in. That'll be nice. I want to give them a chance to grow with some more normal videos before I start doing that too much, but in a little bit anyway. Yes. So yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Eternals intrigues me because I know pretty much nothing about the Eternals other than, wow, it's got one hell of a cast and it sounds interesting. Yeah, trailer breakdowns, definitely one of the things that will probably pop up. As well as all those other cool regular videos that I'm going to have going on. So yeah, definitely. Okay. So I can keep going. I can talk more about the channel and then how we got from a year ago to here. If people are interested in that. If people have questions, I can talk about that. So let me know what you guys have an interest in and we can go that way. We can talk about what the biggest videos on the channel have actually been at this point. And there's some interesting stuff to talk about in that regard, too. I mean, some of you might know, obviously anybody can go over to the channel and just go sort by most popular if they want to, too. But that's kind of cheating. Well, Alexander Hamilton, have a magical day, and may the force be with you. Always. And hey, I was glad to see you pop on by too. Let's see. Yes, Talk Drift, the Stargirl videos. Until recently, one of the Stargirl videos was still the most viewed video on the channel. And the one with the most watch time too, for that matter. Until recently. But for a long time, it used to be. Man, did it used to be. I said, that one, by the way, to be specific, would be the Grace Vanderwaal Best Moments in Stargirl Part 1. That video, wow, that video took off so incredibly. I remember when it did. I was just watching that video get view after view after view and the watch time going up to it, and I'm going, wow. Oh, that amazed me right there. And of course, a ton of people subscribed off of it too. Yeah, it was the first video that really went huge, and even to this day, it's only one of two videos that has over 10,000 views on the channel, with about 16,000 views now. Oof, what is the favorite video I did on the channel? Oof. Oh man, that gets tricky. Let's see. I mean, some of the top 10s I've done, I've really enjoyed. Making the list and then putting them out can be really fun. To be honest, I think when it comes to it, actually, anything that takes video and that I have to put video into, it takes a lot more time. It just does. But I enjoy doing it. It's an interesting trade-off. Because I can't do it that often just because it takes too long. But I love putting actual video into what I'm doing. And I was able to do it on, like, say, the Grace Vanderwall Part 1 and 2. When I did the Dapper Dan's Top 10, I got video into that as well, which was nice. I've also gotten video... the creative videos I've done. Those are really fun. The fireworks videos, for instance, that have done really well are high up there. Although, probably as far as those kind of creative videos, my favorite would be Anna and the Beast. Frozen and live-action Beauty and the Beast. Using the live-action Beauty and the Beast trailer, but with Frozen footage. Which, I loved making that, and I still love that video. That's definitely one of my favorites right there. I said no ifs, ands, or buts. That might be my favorite video I've done. But I said it's a very different type of video from what I normally do, too. Actually, I mean, I've done a number of creative videos, but I call them creative videos. Really, everything's creative, but yeah. For lack of a better term. Not sure what else to call it. But I really enjoy making them. Man, it takes so much time to make something so short, though. Oh, yeah. But I love making those, all the video editing going in there, the choices as to what piece to use here, what to use here, how to go ahead and, well, really sometimes you have to slow things down, speed them up to make them work, really finagle it around, and those are really fun on those creative videos. Same with the fireworks videos. Sometimes you wouldn't even realize the spots that might be faster or slower in them too. Although if you're watching the foreground and the audience, because they'll sometimes be walking by, sometimes you can catch them changing pace. But luckily you're not looking there when you're watching the fireworks videos. You're watching the actual fireworks in the background. But yeah, no, certainly those would be amongst my favorites. Now, I mean, while I'm also talking favorites, heck, in a very different way, some of the Clone Wars videos, for instance, just because I also loved watching it, I don't know if I would have if I hadn't been making it for this. So that's in a very different sense. Heck, even Stargirl, I talked about this back in making it. I don't think I would have finished that movie if it hadn't been for the channel. Which would have been sad because I would have cut out, like, just before the movie, for me, really got good. Because it got really good in the back half. And I have more of an appreciation for the front half than I did, when I first watched just that front half. So there's some things I've done because of the channel that I wouldn't have done otherwise. And so, in a different way, that's enjoying a video, not necessarily just the act of making it, because that's, also sharing it with all of you, which is also great as well. But even the very fact that I watched whatever I did, because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I mean, heck, like, say, the Clone Wars finale. Watching that, oh man, I loved that. Would I have watched it otherwise? Someday I probably would have. Who knows, maybe a few years from now still. I don't know. That's a weird trick. It's not for a lack of loving Star Wars. But I don't know. Some of the stuff in Clone Wars would have turned me off more as I was going through first. Some of those some of those not as great episodes. But it's a lot easier to go through when I'm sharing with all of you, and there's all that encouragement of, hey, it's getting really good here, it's going to get really good. So yeah, other videos I've really loved. I said, really, those misunderstood Disney villain videos, they are fun to make. It's fun to go ahead and really go into that and try to find, okay, I've got to find a way to go ahead and figure out how do I go ahead and make this work. Now, there are some villains that, heck, if I have any idea how to make that work on them. There are some real tricky ones out there that I don't think I would want to touch. How about like Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame? How the heck do you defend that guy? Or even make a case for him to be misunderstood or something? Yeah. Hey, while we're talking videos also, all the Disneyland history videos, or Disney World, as a few of them have been, one thing that I also love about making those is I learned so much while I'm doing those. Because I have to go dig into that history and go learn a fair bit. So I really actually have a lot of fun doing those. And actually, amongst those Disneyland history videos, one that I'm actually really proud of, it didn't perform great. Really, the Disneyland history videos have done much better with topics that are ones everybody loves, right? Which is probably not a surprise. But I did one on the extravaganza, the Easter egg hunt thing they do. They just call it an egg hunt, of course, not an Easter egg hunt. But point being, but I did a video on that. And part of why I was really proud of that one is that, well, really, there's not one source that had all this compiled. Usually I'm able to find like one really good source and then some other sources that also really help add to whatever I'm doing for it. But for the egg extravaganza thing, there wasn't one good source anywhere. So I was really having to pull together this information to make the timeline as to what was going on from the different parks and how it was working, pulling up tons of different articles to source whatever information I could, including having to watch YouTube videos to get an idea of what was going on in that year, because at least people would video their own extravaganza egg hunt that year. So I was really proud of it just because I'm like, hey, I put all this work into it, and hey, there's at least one source that has actually pulled all this together, which is my video here. It was a long time ago. Man, it was. Oh, yeah. But no, so, I mean, it didn't do great, but as a video, it just never took off. But I was proud of that video because, it was so much work in compiling it together, and yeah. So it's tricky. I mean, I guess I've not given a direct answer to what's my favorite video I've done. I guess I've kind of dashed around a little bit and talked about a few of the different favorite videos I've done. If I had to pick... Now just imagine me making top 10 videos when I'm doing that, right? Where I actually have to legitimately just say, hey, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. If you just listen to me right now, you can imagine it might take a little bit of work for me to sometimes to narrow those down and really go here. Because that's usually my process first. Is like, okay, here we get this and this and this. Okay, now if I've really got to slam these down as a 1, 2, 3, how am I going to do that? So if I've really got to go put them in order, I think my favorite video I've made is probably the Anna and the Beast one. Yeah, I think that's probably it. I've only done one other trailer mashup after that, which I really enjoyed, by the way. But I said I mean to do some more at some point in the future. They do take a lot of work, though. But yeah, they're tons of fun. And actually, the way I do it, I try to generally, to some degree, match the cuts and what's going on with the original trailer, just with a different movie. Which is both positive and negative. Yeah. But yeah, that would probably be my favorite. Oh, hey, another creative video that I enjoyed doing. Wasn't as much work. It certainly was work, though, but in a very different way. I was essentially restoring a video that someone else had made like a decade ago. My favorite Star Wars music video that's up on YouTube anywhere. No Easy Way Out. I had a ton of fun making that because it was... My whole point was, their thing was, what quality was it? 360p? Something? It was super, super low. And they just never made a new one. So, I mean, I've got the links back to the original, so definitely check out their original as well. But I've got a nice 1080p in there. I said, I think I even tagged them on Twitter and whatnot too, so never heard anything from them, but But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that because I was really, it was all the work to match it perfectly up. I was trying to match it frame for frame to what they did. And it was an interesting trick because I think part of the problem too, if my memory serves, is they did their thing in 30 frames. Now this is really getting into the weeds here, but they did their thing in 30 frames per second. Whereas the movie itself was actually not shot in 30 frames per second. Like most movies, it was shot in, well, we'll call it 24 frames per second, even if it was like 23.976 or whatever. 24 frames per second. So I had to adjust that to get that to work. And I think in the end I chose to go with the 24 frames per second as a movie actually was. So it slightly is different there. But because I was trying to match it up so much, it was finding these little markers. It was like this Easter egg hunt of finding, okay, what piece can I use in this bit of footage to make sure it lines up? Like in the sections with Vader, it would be when the lightning bolts are hitting Luke and you see his face flash up for just a frame. And it's like, I can use that. I can use that to go ahead and figure out, this must be here and here. So it was like this whole investigatory, puzzle solving thing to go ahead and put it together and get it all to work and match up frame for frame. Because I really wanted it to be as faithful as I could make it to the original. And again, there were barely any changes. Again, that frame difference of being 24 frames per second versus 30. And I did heavily debate that. Even though, the original film is 24 and that was better. And that's what I did end up doing, but I debated it. And then there were other pieces to it too that I debated on. What were some of the others? I think the very ending. I changed a bit of the fade out actually. Just because it really worked a lot better if the fade out worked slightly different. So I did do that. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. Because that one, that's personal to me in that sense. Because I've loved that video for a while on YouTube. Always wishing there was a higher quality version of it out there. And I ended up by doing it. So I made it myself. So that was just, it just especially to me. I got to go do some homework. Yes, probably good idea to go ahead and do that. Don't get too lost over here or just watching a live stream. I would love having you around, but I said always got to get all those different pieces there. And thank you for the congrats on the anniversary again. And yes, more Marvel and Star Wars videos. So I said definitely subscribe to those channels so that way it'll come out. I'll probably put a post up over here on the main channel just to go ahead and make sure that there is another notification for people as well. But yeah, definitely. So those will go out later today. Okay. So yeah, there's some of my favorites. But yeah, I love researching into things and learning more about whatever. I love the creative film editing to put things together. And heck, I love making things that I would like to watch, right? And I love sharing all of these things with all of you and getting to interact in the comments. And I said, now there's so many great aspects right there. But yeah, I'm going with Anna and the Beast as my favorite video I've made. Two of my favorite Disney movies right there, so it helps. It helps a lot, frankly. I haven't talked about Beauty and the Beast much, but I will at some point. I certainly will. And there are a lot of opinions out there on the live-action movies, one way and the other, and I certainly have my opinions, too. You can guess at least on one of them, considering that that's one of my favorite movies there, so... Okay. So where are we? Let's see. I was talking Stargirl a little bit earlier because I talked to her if you're leaving, but yeah, you were talking about Stargirl videos, and again, that was the first set of videos that really took off on the channel, and a whole lot of people came in off of that. I honestly have no idea how many of them are still here or aren't, or how many are still loving the content, but I certainly know of a few of you who, I've heard from, even within, say, the last month or 2 months. Definitely High Sport. And now let's see. Super happy to have found your channel when you did. Good. Good. Yes. Yes, I said, some of you have been around for a while now, too. It's like, and sometimes it hits me that the channel's really been around for a year. It's like, wow. How a year can fly by right there. And hey, some of you are really new, and I've seen you around a fair bit, too. And then I've even got the people who have popped in who, heck, have been around for a while, and the first time I've heard from you. So, I said, always great to hear from you all. It really is. Oh, thanks, YouTuber. Thanks. I mean, there's got to be a clunker in there somewhere, right? I mean, I try to avoid that. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, you're definitely welcome, Vader. Oh, really? Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad I can help calm down and be a nice calming influence on anybody. Or, yeah, that's nice. It's a really nice compliment. I like that. Thanks. Now, and I love streaming with all of you. Even if we've just got a few or if we've got a bunch, any which way, I love the interaction, especially in a live stream. Just because it's an active response and I can go ahead and actually respond to your questions right then and there. And I do love that. Very, very much so. Let's see. Any other interesting questions you guys have? Again, I can ramble on about anything for a while. Hey, we could have a 10-hour stream if you want. I'll go ahead and just talk about this, that, and the other. Speaking of top 10s, I did just put that out, I think, this morning, too. I said I just put out that top 10 Disney couples right there. Because of how cool? Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I guess that's where that one was finishing out. Thanks, YouTuber. I said, one of those ultimately, I'm me, and hopefully that, is good. I mean, it's interesting, too. Something, as far as how I went about videos, too, right? When it came to the original Stargirl, the extended thoughts, some of you who were back then maybe saw the original version before I cut down a bit. I actually cut it down a little bit after it was out. You can't do much on YouTube to edit things after they're out. You can cut stuff out, and that's about all you can do. But it was because I did the whole thing doing the front half first and then this back half, it was a little, I guess the phrase I want to use is oppressively negative at the first. And that wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't the impression I wanted to leave either, especially for a movie that actually I quite enjoyed in the end. And that interaction and that having run into that really, it changed a bit of my approach on how to go about some of that, because it just wasn't like what I wanted to leave with people. That kind of negativity. I mean, we have plenty of negativity in the world. No need for it here. I mean, and again, I'm not always going to love things. I mean, is what it is. I'm not going to tell you I love something when I don't, but but how you go about it still. I mean, heck, it makes me think also, I did a video on Artemis Fowl after it came out. Speaking of videos that didn't do great on the channel. But instead of bashing the movie, which I could have done, but a million people had already done it already by the time I put a video out, I actually went and like, you know what? Everyone's already bashed it. And I don't have much different opinion than that anyway. What about the actual things that are good in it? Because there is, I mean, no matter how much of a train wreck anything is, a movie is made up of so many people doing so much work that there's a lot to appreciate even in a train wreck. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make a video that is about that. And so I did. It didn't take off. It probably would have done far better as a video if I just joined everybody else just making a completely negative video on Artemis Fowl. But, hey. But as opposed to highlighting the actual things that were nice, like, say, some of the costumes or the set design or the pieces of acting that actually were good in it, etc. But hey. Anyway, will I cover some of the new Star Wars content? Star content on Disney Plus, like Deadpool or even Scrubs or stuff like that? Yeah, no, every better movie has at least one good part. Indeed, they do. Well, Deadpool hits into the larger Marvel, which, hey, might actually become more official soon anyway, I suppose. Because if we do make it a multiverse where those exist, well, then they technically exist within the MCU. But no, I figure I might touch them over on Freeform Marvel sometime. So I might touch that there. As for other things, it's a trick. The problem I get, there are certain things I haven't touched on Freeform Disney. Because as much as I thought, okay, I'm going to do... The four main areas really for me are like the animation, which is Disney Animation and Pixar. Then, so there's Disney Animation and Pixar. There's the theme parks. There's Marvel. There's Star Wars. Those were like the four main areas I saw. And I've gone outside of that a little bit. For instance, doing The Right Stuff, which was a National Geographic Disney Plus stuff. So I've gone outside of that a little bit because of Disney Plus. But part of the problem is if I go too much outside of that, it just doesn't work well on the channel. So that's some inside baseball for you right there. But YouTube really likes it if you stick into a lane. Unless you're really big. If you're a giant YouTube channel, you can get away with doing whatever the heck you like. If you're small, you can't. And we're still small. I mean, we're up over 1,000. We're over 1,200 now. We're still small, relatively speaking, so we're working our way up. But yeah, you just can't quite get away with things as much, with doing things that are not necessarily in your niche as much. And that's kind of the problem with that whole Fox acquisition section, is it doesn't feel as much Disney, generally speaking. Anastasia aside. Because Anastasia is a movie that everybody always has thought was Disney anyway. So there's a difference there. And yeah, so I'm wary to go very far into that. And I've debated things like that sometime. But there will probably be occasions where maybe I'll touch something, and other times where most of the time I probably won't. Like, heck, the Alien movies, for instance, are actually owned by Disney now. I could talk about Alien and Aliens and, heck, the new Alien stuff that's coming up in the future. But putting on Freeform Disney just doesn't... Yeah. It'll probably just get lost and people won't look at it. Because they'll be like, what the heck's this doing on Freeform Disney? That's not what I subscribed to this for. And I don't mean you people who are here in my chat, because you're probably some of the people who are going to watch most of what I do. I'm just guessing. So, not my typical amongst the 1,200 subscribers in that sense. But yeah, YouTube's algorithm can be all over the place, is a nice way of putting it. I mean, I can tell you some of the horror stories of that sometime. I was doing breakdown videos on The Mandalorian right after each episode for the first 4, before I started shifting over to live streaming and just doing that instead of second viewing live streaming thing. But, man, how YouTube would treat it. If you try doing videos on something that's popular, oh man, it is a mess. I would put the videos out around the same time, similar length, similar everything else, and yet one week YouTube says, hey, I'll go ahead and let people know about this. And the next week YouTube says, nah, I'm not letting people know about it. No idea why. Not a bloody clue. Heck if I know. But I notice it's a lot more volatile when it comes to something really popular, like say, Mandalorian or WandaVision. A lot more volatile there. Let's see. Yeah, didn't think of that. No, I mean, no reason to. I mean, unless you've been on this side of it and run into all of that. It's like, and to be honest, I probably was too broad on what I did in the first place with putting all of that onto this channel. It's part of why I'm putting Star Wars and Marvel off onto their own channels here. Obviously, again, keeping Rebels and with the WandaVision here for the moment, so it's not an immediate transition to those two pieces. But yeah, I probably played it a little too broad too. Although again, I mean, some of you came from all kinds of different sections of that, and if I hadn't been doing it, you wouldn't be here anyway. So I said, and I wouldn't have wanted to stick to just one of those areas anyway. I love it all. So confound it all, I love it so. Anyway. I love it all. Anyway, let's see. Agree with you. Yeah, I think covering really everything when... Yeah. I said, it was kind of my idea of, hey, it's freeform because it's all these different things. Not a good way to play with YouTube. YouTube doesn't like that. and I understand that. I mean, if I were, subscribing, I could understand the same side of that. So it has to be connected enough that you understand why you're going there. How the algorithm works, whew, that's a tricky one. Well, hello there, Darskel. It has been a while. It has indeed. I am doing separate Marvel and Star Wars channels, yes. That's 2 of the 3 big announcements today. The third one is that there's a Discord server now. So there's also a Discord server. The links are up in that chat up higher up, so you can go ahead and pop those links and subscribe to the other 2 channels or go into the Discord server. All of that's sitting up there. And yes, so I'll just repeat this since you popped on in. So right now, for the moment, Rebels will be staying over here on Freeform Disney because it's not going to be an immediate transition over. As I said, just wouldn't be a good idea. Leave all kinds of people behind who wouldn't catch shifting it over. So it's going to be a little bit on that. It's at least a few weeks. At least. And same on Freeform Marvel. The WandaVision watch along things will not move over there yet. But I will be doing other videos. And going to and really hitting videos I've been wanting to do, which is, things like what ifs and theory videos and more video essay kind of things and top 10s and lore / history stuff. So really hitting those kind of videos up there. And the first couple videos will go up later today on each of those 2 channels. I wanted to wait till after the live stream to get them up. So they'll be up in a few hours. Oh, and I should say each of those are going to be part of my Misunderstood Villain series. Even though it's now spread on multiple channels. But I'll be doing Ultron over in Marvel and Palpatine over on Star Wars. Yes. I said, this is why I went ahead and usually try to get noon on my time, is just because trying to make time zones work. I've seen here, as far as people in the U.S., I see that evening live streams tend to be a thing heavily, which has always surprised me a little bit. But, I mean, certainly seeing my audience before I ever did a first live stream, I knew my audience, had a good bit European as well as U.S., and also a little bit of people elsewhere, mainly Australian, I think. Maybe New Zealand a little too, and there's no way to make all 3 of those time zones work. That just doesn't happen, but certainly I can get U.S. and Europe to work well enough by hitting here what is midday over here in my time zone, because then at least it's just evening over in Europe. Well, the Marvel channel is starting. So the Marvel channel is starting, today. I mean, it's over there. You can subscribe to it right now. And there will be a video up later. So, again, WandaVision videos will be staying over here on this channel for now. But there will be other videos going up over on Freeform Marvel. And at least 1 or 2 a week. At least. From Canada. Eastern time zone. Cool. Like all the way east? Is there a further east time zone? Like if you're talking Quebec or something over there that's further east than U.S. East Coast? Question? Not sure about that or not. Not top of my head anyway. Never in France. All kinds of cool stuff. It's cool to hear where all of you are from right there. And I also envy all of you who actually have a Star tab coming up on Disney Plus, but that's another matter. Yes, I can go ahead and fake my way around that, but, you know, I don't have it directly here in the U.S. anyway. A Zemo video on the villain thing before Falcon comes out. Oh. So misunderstood villain on Zemo before it comes out. Interesting. It's funny. He's not the one I would normally think about because he tends to be thought of, I think, more as misunderstood already. But yeah, no, that could be fun. I will have to think about that because that's going to be quick turnaround, isn't it? Yeah, Zemo definitely would be interesting. Also, probably at the very least, I'll get a 3-minute catch-up video before we go up into there too. You know, get one of those up, or however much time it takes to catch up on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm not sure if that'll be 3 minutes. We'll see. I'll try to get it there anyway. I think I might be. Yeah, I mean, because Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if we're talking. We're not really talking much Endgame because they're both out there until just the end bit. We've got them in Infinity War and then the Captain America movies. Pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, no, that should be able to hit that in another 3 minutes. So yeah, no, that sounds interesting on the Zemo one. Yeah, I will put that over there in the things I'm looking at doing because that's coming up fast right now. I mean, we're what? 3 weeks out? I think we're 3 weeks out right now because this week is episode 8 of WandaVision. Next week is 9. Then we have the week off. Not really a week off because we actually have a documentary on the making of WandaVision. And then the week after. So yeah, 3 weeks. So it'll probably be in that week of would be where I'd do the video right there. Yeah. Good suggestion. Gotcha. So same time zone as that. Okay, you're just across the border. So Toronto area or something probably. Cool. Up in the big city area of Canada when it comes to it. Yeah, a lot of stuff is coming up on Disney Plus. Oh man, is it? Yeah, no, I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you know, you're talking about it probably being faster paced and whatnot. Certainly the trailer gives every feel of it. And again, it feels like it's a big old movie just sitting on there, which makes sense. Whereas WandaVision has more of a feel of a show than a movie. So I would expect it to work that way. And also the way WandaVision has kept pulling layers off the onion, it wouldn't work to be a fast-paced movie all the way through. Without saying more in case people haven't seen it, I guess. I assume everybody on here has probably seen it, but in case you haven't, I'm not going to go ahead and spoil that for you. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was last we saw. CIA had him over in prison the last we saw him right there. How did he escape? Who knows? Who knows? The same way everyone escapes Arkham Asylum all the time over in the DC universe, right? Yes, that's my best answer. I'm sure we'll find out. I'm sure we'll get some kind of answer. Whether it's him or somebody else broke him out, and maybe whoever broke him out is relevant to the whole thing, too. Or maybe it has to do with the snap. Maybe Zemo got snapped by Thanos and then came back from the snap who knows where. Or maybe all his guards disappeared during the snap. I mean, the snap could easily explain how Zemo isn't in prison anymore. I mean, that's my bet. I'm going with the snap. It just makes sense. Man, could you imagine that? You got snapped away, and then you end up popping up wherever the heck because Hulk just snapped you back in there. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. I like the snap as being the excuse for it, actually. Oh, that's too much fun if that's the case. Yeah, that's my other possibility. Either the guards disappeared or he disappeared and came back. I'm not sure which one. It might be that the guards disappear. Like what? They're taking him out, moving him from one spot to another, and then, oh, look, all the guards just disappeared. God. Oh, that would be a great scene to go ahead and just see in the course of it. We get a little flashback of it happening. Oh. Thunderbolt Ross let him out of prison. Interesting. I'm not sure why. Huh. I'm missing the motive, but that's probably a lack of comic knowledge just showing itself right there would be my guess. It's like, obviously Ross can be a little more hard-edged on the things he wants to do, but I'm still missing why he would let Zemo out. I mean, there has to be something else in it for him to let Zemo out. Interesting. Yeah, I just don't have a good explanation yet. I'm just voting that the snap is how he got out right now. But if you can give me something, because maybe there's something in the comics I just don't know, since I'm not familiar enough with the comics. So maybe there's something there as to the two of them working together or something, for all the heck I know. Have I ever thought of doing videos on Pirates of the Caribbean? Oh, yeah, I've thought about it, definitely. Speaking of all the many movies there in Disney. Heck, we've also got aren't they doing a new Pirates of the Caribbean, I think, now? Although Johnny Depp won't be in that one. Considering all of the other stuff that Johnny Depp's been up to lately, shall we say. But yeah, Yeah, no, Pirates of the Caribbean sometime love to do. Definitely, I enjoyed the first movie anyway. I haven't seen all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I've seen the second one. I think at least part of the third one, maybe. I think. But love the first one at any rate. So definitely I'm sure I'll do something on that sometime. Definitely agreed. And who knows, maybe do some kind of interesting combo with the theme parks too while I'm at it. Scal, what do you got in there? In the comics, Zemo is a part of... Oh, okay. It's interesting. So Thunderbolts is a team. Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't even... See, I didn't even know that. Fictional superhero team, huh? Mostly reformed supervillains. Oh, that's intriguing. Including Zemo and whatnot. Oh. Luke Cage's Thunderbolts, Winter Soldier's Thunderbolts. Huh. It's all kinds of interesting stuff. Hammer's Thunderbolts. Oh, wow, there's a ton of interesting stuff in there, though. Let's see. Wow. I will have to look more into that later. There's a lot there. Wow. Okay. How intriguing. Okay. Man, there's so much that has happened in Marvel Comics. Goes back decade after decade after decade, right? I mean, we're talking the 30s or something for when Marvel Comics started? Am I right? About 30s for Marvel Comics? 1939. I called 30s. I was barely right on that one. So 1939. That means Marvel as a comics are like 80 years old now. Over 80 years old. That's a ton of time for different little storylines and pieces to be able to come out and be worked into the MCU. Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, if I'm using some of that, that is interesting. If I touch on some of the comics there on Zemo, in terms of having been a reformed person, yeah, I can see that. That can definitely work into that right there. Interesting to come out right before this, and we blow everything out of the water for whatever I say in that sense. Try to defend him, right? or maybe it'll all be on spot. It could go either way. If you've watched my making my theories on what was going to happen in Mandalorian, you saw how accurate I was. Not that I expected to be, though. Let's see. Yes, Black Widow is setting up the Thunderbolts and Falcon. Interesting. As I said, that sounds cool. As I said, certainly not something I knew. But very cool, very cool. Yeah, that's part of the real interesting thing with the whole release schedule and how everything went. Like, WandaVision was supposed to be, well, at the end of last year. So you originally were going to have Black Widow, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then you're going to have Eternals late in the year, and then WandaVision after that. Which means whatever we see in WandaVision, if anything, is going to lead into Loki. Not something else, because Loki would be the next thing that was going to come up after WandaVision. And yeah, I won't talk about anything more about that. Again, catch myself before I say something that might feel like a spoiler. Although it's not actually, but that's another matter. So it could be interesting on how all those come out and whether we decide there might be a better viewing order afterwards. We should switch the viewing order up slightly. See what we see on all that. Yep. Doctor Strange 2, etc. Although those orders haven't changed yet at this point, I think. I don't think any... Once we get into next year, I think everything is roughly in the same order that it was originally. Because even Black Panther 2 didn't really get delayed in any kind of long way. No Way Home? Yeah. Good title, and definitely fitting right there. Especially after what we saw in the end of the last movie. It's like, whew. And also if there's a multiverse going on and he gets stuck in the multiverse somewhere, I mean, that also could really make a No Way Home mean something. On top of the fact that, well, his life just got blown up. Which also makes me curious, are we just going to time jump forward all this time from the last movie? Are we not? I'm curious about that as well. But yeah, love the title. Also has a bit of a darker feel to it than the other two movies, just off the bat with a title like that. And given what we did on the end of the last movie, it should be a little darker than the last two. So yeah. So yeah. Okay, anybody got any other questions? Anything else you want me to talk about? Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, Pixar, theme park, etc., etc. Any other big old questions? Oh, by the way, one other random thought. This isn't something I'm doing it right now, so don't take it that way. But on that whole weird question on the other parts of Disney Plus and whatnot, and the other things that Disney own, like all the Fox stuff, man, I have debated on that. Again, I don't have enough time to keep doing more, but you never know. Someday in the future, a year, 2 years from now, again, nowhere near term, you never know, maybe I'll make Freeform Fox. I'll just make that as a separate thing. I don't know what else to call it. Who knows? Maybe I'll find some better name. That'll just be for dealing with all the other things that Disney owns that used to be Fox. And I'll just touch it that way. Because, I mean, Freeform 20th Century Studios just doesn't work well. But, you never know. It's always possible. But again, it's not like I have all the time in the world to just keep making more videos, so too, as much as I wish I could. Also, again, I don't make short videos, which means they take way too long to make, relatively. If I could make, videos that were 35 minutes every time, oh man, I could put out so many videos. What do you got, Darscal? I said WandaVision and Spider-Man 3 are setting up Doctor Strange 2. Yep, they have said that. Well, we know Loki's clearly going to be setting up because Loki's playing around in the multiverse, and being that it's probably going to have a connection, considering that Doctor Strange, the very movie, is the Multiverse of Madness. So, given that, I would be highly surprised if Loki didn't tie in some way to Doctor Strange. Oh, well, hello there, Geek Girl. How are you doing today? But yeah, as I said, as far as the other two, yeah, we know the other two are definitely playing in. Heck, we know Wanda's going to be a main character in Doctor Strange 2. Are they still doing the Fox universe? Well, who knows? There's been no answer on how the heck the X-Men are going to come join the MCU. Clearly, they have their plan, and Feige knows what the heck he's doing, but how it's going to do it? Who knows? That's been so much speculation on the 100 different ways that the X-Men could be brought in. But, I mean, the Fox universe is essentially over. I mean, there's not going to be anything more coming out of any of its parts at this point. Unless, well, we have some of their characters appear here in the MCU, which is possible. Deadpool being the one weird exception, because Deadpool is going to have more movies. So, Deadpool aside, but then again, that's not really going to be just Fox Universe per se. He's going to be Marvel now, MCU. Because Deadpool can be Deadpool and crossover. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing for bringing the X-Men in. I'm assuming that's not exactly how the X-Men are being brought over. It's not just, hey, look, these people have been around here for decades. Over in a different universe. It's like, I'm assuming that's not the answer. And I'm hoping it's not. Because that's a little lackluster. Not to mention it would then bring in all of the problems of that universe. That really isn't cohesive and was incredibly hit and miss on movies. Man, was it hit and miss. Dang. And at the end, much more miss. But, yeah, it's also... Yeah, you get all this backstory that just doesn't fit over and doesn't bring stuff in. So it would be a bit of a mess. Hawkeye show, that is this year. I think it is the very last one to come out this year. So, and with the timing of what was said in the Investor Day thing, it should be the last MCU content overall. So we're talking in the December time frame right there. And yeah, I mean, we've seen some stuff. A couple photos have been put out that we get to go ahead and see, well, both of our main characters in that one. So that means also Haley Steinfeld playing her character. So yeah, no, there's been some cool pictures that have come out, but beyond that, nothing. Nothing that we've seen beyond that yet. Let's see. Favorite movie of all time. Are we talking Disney? So within my Freeform Disney world here? Or are we talking favorite movie altogether? If it's favorite movie altogether, it's Casablanca. So that's my favorite movie of all time. Now, if it's favorite movie in terms of other things, well, Disney animation, it's Lion King. Frozen doesn't quite hit there. It's close. It's close. Favorite live-action Disney movie would be Beauty and the Beast. Favorite Star Wars movie, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And let's see, favorite MCU movie is going to be Endgame. So, there you go. So, whichever way it was being asked, I think I covered my bases there. Oh, I didn't cover Pixar. Pixar, Toy Story 3. So... There, now I think I covered all my bases on that one. Yeah. Unless I want to touch into all the Fox acquisitions. Ooh, now that's its own mess. Oh. Fox is defunct. X-Men is... Yeah, Fox is defunct indeed. Well, heck, we were... Yeah, I said, I'm sure some actors will come back, etc., etc. But yeah, Deadpool is going to be the one person that we know will be coming over, and that'll be fun. Boba Fett's time. I'm not sure. What do we say? No, that's Boba Fett's time. Huh. Hang on. Let me just go ahead and repop these. They're up higher in the channel, in the live chat for the links, but I will just repost them down here for you. So there is Marvel, there is Star Wars, and also while I'm at it, here is the Discord server link. There we go. So there's all three of those for you. So all of the links are reposted down here on the bottom. And as I said, it's Freeform Marvel, Freeform Star Wars. 2 words on Star Wars, even though I apparently can't put a space between my Star and Wars. I'll have to work on that. Oh, for anybody just joining, since Gay Girl, I think you just joined, I'll just go ahead and give the once-over on those 3. Those are the 3 big announcements, the reveals. So there is a Discord server. Lots of work went into it. Natalia, my wife, went ahead and did most of the work of building it. As I said, which, by the way, ton of work. Wow. She happens to run another server, not nearly as complex in bots and whatnot as all the research and work she put into this one, though. But on top of that, so yeah, there are games in there, all kinds of good channels, depending on what you want to talk about. So yeah, gonna be good times in there. So definitely go check that out, and you'll be able to really have a spot where you can talk to each other too, which I think is also great. And hey, I'll be in there too. So yeah, Freeform Marvel and Star Wars. So they'll each be getting at least a video or 2 a week. And I am not moving over Rebels or the WandaVision live streams. The WandaVision live streams won't move over, simply put, but since it's only this week and next. But Rebels, at least it'll be a few weeks, maybe even a couple months. Because, again, everybody that's watching those are here on this channel, and it's going to take some time to go ahead and make that kind of a transition. But that way, really, it's got a dedicated place for each of those, because as much as I love them all under one roof, and I like the idea, well, it might not quite be the best idea for everyone, for people that are really more interested in one aspect or a different. And sure as heck, YouTube as an algorithm doesn't like doing it that way. But hey, if you're only interested in Star Wars, do you want to see everything else? Maybe not so much. Or if you're only interested in Marvel, for instance. You're my 4th Marvel subscriber. Huh? Thanks, Scal, and everybody else who's popped over there already. Nice. But yeah, and also the other comment is the first videos for both Freeform Marvel and Star Wars will go up later today. Bearing in mind that it's 2:20 for me in the afternoon right now. So, or 14:20, depending on which way you want to look at that. So, it's still a little bit of the day left. But yeah, those will go up later today, and it's going to be the misunderstood villain videos, and I've got one for each Marvel and Star Wars. I'm going to be doing Ultron on Marvel and Palpatine on Star Wars. So, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And really, I'm wanting to, as I said, I'll be able to do more videos because I won't feel I'm flooding the main channel with Star Wars videos, for instance, or that Marvel videos are just getting lost because, well, YouTube doesn't think that this channel should have Marvel stuff on it. Heck if I haven't seen that. But anyway, the other thing is I'm really wanting to get more back into doing. In the very first week of the channel, I had a what if video, a top 10 video, a video where I dug into like the science of fear, actually, in using Snow White. I had a video that I did, like, the lore, the history, and yeah, and so I really want to be able to get back into doing more lore videos, some what if videos, some theory videos, top 10s, etc. I want to get more into back doing some of those too, so that's going to be part of a focus in there too. So not just all the reaction breakdown videos I've done, which I've done a ton of, but they've taken over the channel a bit more than I ever meant them to. Don't get me wrong, I've loved doing them, but I gotta have those other videos in there too. I love making them, and I certainly know I said other people like seeing them too, but so that's part of where I'm hoping to pop here as we head into year 2 of the channel as well. It's also why the main channel's been a little quieter lately, is because of setting all of this up too. So now it's kind of the Freeform Disney family, which is what I called it over on Patreon too, actually. Actually, let me show you all that, just so I can show you the logo on it, if nothing else, because I like the logo and how I made that work. And you can see all my random little tabs up there while I'm at it, because why not? Oop, that's over me. Let me put there we go. How do you like that logo there? This is the Patreon page right now, so that's just how I made the logo for all 3. So we've got Disney, Marvel. Oop, point the right direction, right? Always tricky when you're trying to do this. There we go. Marvel, Star Wars. So that's it. When it comes to things like that, the Patreon is, for all of it. It's still all together. Same is true when it comes to the Twitter. The Twitter is everything. So it's not, there aren't going to be 3 different Twitter accounts for the 3 channels. It's all conglomerate. Just like the Discord server, it's one Discord server for all of it. Yeah. So anyway, that's the Patreon over there. I just thought I'd show you because of the image right there. And so I'm going to close that. Actually, as I think about it, I should do that on Twitter too. I didn't change the Twitter image, but I should do the same thing I did with this over here on Twitter. Anyway. Oh, yeah. No worries at all, Geek Girl. No worries. No, I just wanted to show off the logo. That was actually all I was doing it for. I didn't think that I need to do it on Twitter, too. It's like, I need to do that on Twitter, too. So yeah, I guess it'll be up there and visible to everybody, too. And yeah, no, I super appreciate you subbing to all of those different things. That's great. It's a definitely. I love how it makes the Mickey thing. If I ever had a 4th one, I don't know what I'd do to go and make it look cool. I do actually have an Instagram page. You can find it at Freeform Disney, but I've never done anything with it yet. Back to trying to manage too many different things actually for the YouTube channel. It's like I'd like to at some point. So hopefully somewhere here in the course of year 2, I will get the Instagram page up and really running. But there is a Freeform Disney Instagram page. I registered it way back a year ago. Or a little over a year ago, actually. So it does exist. I just have not done anything with it. Like, you can go Instagram.com and go over to Freeform Disney. Which I said, if you're ever wanting to make a guess, you can usually guess that it, you can go to whatever Freeform Disney. Same with the Gmail. It's freeformdisney@gmail.com. Instagram.com/freeformdisney. Twitter.com/freeformdisney, etc. But yeah, so hey, look at that. I actually have 4 followers on the Instagram account. Didn't even know. I haven't advertised it out, so I will admit I'm actually surprised I have followers on there, since I've never actually since I've never actually put anything out on the Instagram yet. Huh. Cool. That's cool, actually. Yeah, no, I really do mean to get into doing something over there at some point, but it really is just a load problem of just one more thing to do. And I've been getting better at balancing everything, minus these past few weeks, month or so, working on really getting everything ready here for today and all the expansion, shifting the 2 new channels and the Discord server. Aside from that, I've generally been doing a much better job at balancing things. Oh, well, thank you, Vader. That said, again, no promises about that being anytime soon, but I will try to get to it somewhere here in year 2. Oh, an animal behavior channel. Oh, nice. Oh, it is hard work and hard to balance the time. I also see all the YouTubers who are single too, right? So you don't have all of that going on in your life as well. Oh, I can imagine they have an easier time because you just cut out all the rest of your life, right? I don't. Nor do I want to, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that either. So I definitely spent a fair bit of time that direction as well. So yeah. Yeah, good luck on the animal behavior channel, by the way. That sounds intriguing. But yeah, it's a balance all the time. Man, not the simplest. And then also, I mean, the other trick is you're always trying to improve and always trying to get better as you're doing all the videos. So that's part of your work right there too. And yeah. Hyped for Thursday night. Me too. Me too. Second to last episode of WandaVision. Oh. We're not too much over 24 hours away from that now. Oh, jeez. Wow. That is tricky to get the time right there. Yeah, definitely. Give me the link when it gets up. I don't guarantee anything on finding time, but I'll try to take a look at it. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, as I said, a lot of work going into it, and it depends on what kind of YouTube you do. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. I mean, there are people that just put out a video a week or every 2 weeks or something. On the other hand, that doesn't mean it's easy either. I mean, you could be putting a ton of work into it. Like, I can't put as much work into an individual video as someone who does on every week or 2 weeks. So just because you're only doing that, it doesn't mean it's necessarily less work. So it all depends on how you go about it. I mean, just like, I wish, on the one hand, I wish I could do 3 to 5 minute videos and really just like, that was my mindset and my brain worked that way. It's just not. Man, it is not. I just want to talk about what I've got. I've got to get through everything I want to talk. Oh, geez. Yeah, on WandaVision. That was insane. In case anybody's not watching WandaVision, right when it comes out, trying to get it to watch, this was the first time watching WandaVision that there was a problem with Disney+. Maybe Muppets coming out too, the Muppet Show also hurt. Maybe. But seeing this problem twice before, and it was when Soul first came out, and it was when the finale of Mandalorian came out. But this was so much worse. We were popping black screen. It wasn't just a notice trying to act like we were having a problem with our own internet, which is the notice it gives. But it was a complete black screen. So it was like a level beyond in terms of Disney Plus having trouble. Eventually got past the black screen and it was back to the normal Disney Plus being overloaded message. So I'm guessing if that's what it was like on episodes 7, 8, and 9 aren't going to be a lot better. I mean, Disney Plus has been expanding so much around the entire globe and way faster than they ever expected it to. And they clearly don't have the infrastructure to quite keep up with it when you're hitting those peak moments on these new shows yet. So, man, they're going to have to work on that because it's not going to get better here. I mean, like, episodes 8 and 9, man, if anything, you'd expect it to be worse. And then we're going to send to Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Whew. I mean, for what I expect on the general public, I expect that's going to be even worse than WandaVision. just because everyone knows Falcon and Winter Soldier better, and I think there's a bigger following that way. So, wow. Yeah, definitely thinking about the Zemo idea. Definitely. And also Pirates of the Caribbean somewhere in the future. Definitely those thoughts are in there. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, no, I'm sure the finale for WandaVision, man, that is going to jam up bad. There's no way it doesn't jam up horribly. Dang if it won't. I assume that Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be bigger. I could be surprised, but I'm going to assume it will. And I'm also going to assume to some degree this is going to keep playing in terms of Disney Plus, just because it's one show after another after another. So I assume you're going to keep having a bit of a snowball effect and people joining in, and then, hey, well, we're already here. We just watched that one. It might not have been as much. I don't know this Miss Marvel thing, but I just watched this Marvel show, so sure, I'll watch Miss Marvel now. That's after we get through Loki, of course, but actually, it's after we get through Loki and after we do some of the What If show. But still, I'm just wondering how much it's going to snowball in that sense, even into the shows that might not have gotten as big a play otherwise. Because again, there is new Marvel content every week of the year, going all the way out to the end of the year. Now, admittedly, a few of those are movies, which should be potentially maybe in the theaters, maybe on Disney Plus, maybe will get delayed. Who the heck knows? Last I heard, there's still rumor is that there's still a debate going on behind the closed doors in terms of whether they will actually go up on Disney Plus or not. So we will see what we see. See what we see. That is for sure. But regardless, we'll have to find out soon because Black Widow is scheduled to come out in May, and that is not that far away at this point. Heck, we just got an announcement about Bad Batch coming out in May, so can't wait too much longer to keep talking about when Black Widow's coming out. Oh, jeez. Fan drama. Woo! Yeah. Oh, man. There are channels that make their entire living just talking about fan drama because you can. And hey, dang, I mean, this channel probably would have grown so much faster if I talked about fan drama. Because people love conflict, and Disney, and YouTube certainly loves conflict. Boy. But there's so many more interesting things to talk about. I mean, look at everything we've got to talk about. It's been a year, and I've barely scratched the surface of anything to talk about. Oh man, I can't even keep up with all the different things that are out there. I mean, even just the new stuff I can't keep up with, let alone the giant catalog we have worth of things still. So, yeah, nah. Not something I want to dig into, generally speaking. Generally speaking. I mean, you never know. There might be an exception if there's some important reason to. Heck, when I was doing the news videos, sometimes something would slightly touch into a news video. But usually if it was just fan drama, I usually chose to pass on it anyway, even there. I'm more likely to say something on Twitter than I'm on YouTube, too, when it comes to fan drama. If I'm going to say anything at all. If. Big if. Let's see, I do have to admit I'm more hyped for Falcon than WandaVision, only because I'm excited to see Sam become Cap. Oh, and Zemo's your favorite. Nice. Me, I was always more psyched for WandaVision. I mean, I was psyched for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was my number 2 right there, but I mean, that was what I was most psyched for last year, and it was still what I was most psyched for this year. I actually ranked them all. I did that in my whole looking forward at the year and everything that was coming out. And yeah, now WandaVision still takes. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier being number 2 and Loki being number 3. So we're kind of working down my order. Okay, my most excited, my second most excited, my third most excited. Yeah. You don't have to worry. It's good. Going into fan drama is not where my interest lies. I mean, heck, I even talked about what I'm wanting to do more of, just because it's what I haven't been touching as much, because I've been doing more breakdown reaction videos. But again, it's not fan drama stuff. And heck no. I can't even do everything I want to do. Why do I want to waste my time with fan drama? I don't have time to deal with fan drama. Let alone to even keep up with fan drama, for that matter. Yeah, no, exactly, Sportan. That's 100% right there. You never get the full story, and you get people going off half-baked one way and the other on too many things. And how much time you'd have to put into really figuring out what the hell's really going on, or trying to get an idea, and then probably you don't even know even then. It's like, yeah, not worth my time in the first place in digging into all of that. And two, not worth the consternation over it either. It's just not. And you probably know me. Just off of the videos, because you... as I said, all of you who are here, or even still watching this live stream 2.5 hours later, for that matter, or, in the chat right now, I like really knowing what I'm talking about and researching into it as much as I feel I can. To be honest, it's part of my trick sometimes with getting videos out. Heck, it's delayed me sometimes. Sometimes I'll end up missing a day and shift later because I need more time to dig into this. Heck, it actually becomes a problem in my breakdown videos when I've done those after a new show comes out, because I'll spend too much time. I'll be like, okay, I want to dig into this and this and this, because I need to make sure I know a little bit more about this, and then sometimes it doesn't even make it into the video, the amount of research I've done. But I just want to at least know that I have that bit in there. So going off half-baked is just not the thing I want to go do. It's just not who I am in the first place. Loki is your least hyped. Oh, wow. Out of everything coming this year. Gotcha. It's like, nah, for me it's number 3. I mean, I think it wouldn't have been before the teaser came out for it. The actual trailer they put out made me way more excited for Loki than I was before. I love the direction we're going with this, kind of a conspiracy thriller kind of feel. And so that really helped build it up for me a fair bit. Let's see. How long are the Falcon episodes? It won't be same as WandaVision. So there are going to be 6 episodes that are all going to be around the 45 to 50 minute mark. So that's what Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be. Generally speaking, the MCU shows will either be one of the two. Either it'll generally be 10 half-hour shows or 6 45 to 50 minute shows. Essentially, the idea, as Kevin Feige has said, is that they are all 5 hours worth of content. It's just how they break it up into how many episodes. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be that style. WandaVision is the other type. Loki is also going to be the longer episode style, so 6 episodes again. We don't know for sure on some of the others, as they have not been said. But yeah, we do know that. Well, definitely have a magical night, I suppose, Vader, and may the Force be with you. Thanks for joining me, too. It's been a fun stream. I've definitely been enjoying spending the time with all of you there. Yeah. I always say day, but then again, I mean, when you're up on YouTube and it's global, I mean, it's probably night for someone, morning for someone else, middle of the day, middle of the night for someone else, maybe 3 in the morning. And hey, that's assuming they even watch it right at the time you say it, right? And not somewhere, hours or days or months later. Or years, I suppose. So, yeah. Yeah, I do try to do my research. I do indeed. Which is actually fun when it comes to Marvel, too, just in the sense because there's so much I don't know since I'm not a big Marvel Comics person. So I get to do some digging when I go into Marvel. You know, if I'm going outside of the movies, anyway. I mean, to be honest, I do some digging even when it comes to Star Wars, because who the heck can actually know everything that comes out in Star Wars? I mean, there is so much that exists for Star Wars. It's such a giant universe as well. I'm sure the same is true for Marvel, for anybody that actually does try to keep up or has read tons of comics too. Isn't Loki's show basically Loki helping the TVA capturing Loki's? I have no idea. I've never heard that. So, but maybe. I don't know. Couldn't say as I know. Maybe. That would make sense. It's like that would fit with the teaser trailer. Okay, I can see that. Okay. What other questions do you have for me, or are we wanting to call it a day? Where are you all at right now? It's been one heck of a year, by the way. So many videos. So many videos indeed. 257 videos is what it says, huh? Oh, plus the live videos, so I mean 257 there. Plus another, what is that? 33, so 290 videos. Wow. I'm going to have to pause for just a second here. There we go, I'm back. Okay. Let's see, you're saying in the Loki trailer you see President Loki. Yeah, I noticed President Loki. We saw female Loki. Did we? Oh. I have to go watch that again right there. Wow. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I'd notice once you say the multiple Lokis thing, it's like that makes the President Loki thing make a lot more sense than it did before. It's like, okay. Oh, well, thank you, YouTuber. Thank you. I definitely will keep up the great work to the best of my ability right there, to be sure. So, and thanks for the compliment. I said definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully, yeah. It's always here's hoping for the next year to be better. The next, it's always onward and upward, right? Onward and upward. Sears staring at space. Everyone thought it was Black Widow at the time. Oh. Yeah, I gotta go look at it again now. It's like, I definitely missed that there, being what the hell was going on. I didn't dig into that trailer or dig in for spoilers or anything yet, either at that point. I wasn't doing, I didn't do a video for the channel or anything on it, so yeah, and it wasn't the next show coming up, so I didn't dig super deep into that one, especially with everything else going on. So I missed that one go by. So I'm always careful about rumors. The rumors worry me a little, considering. Like that comment about the meme debunked. Again, if it comes out onto Hollywood Reporter or up on Deadline, I trust it. Beyond that, depends what the rumor is, where it comes from, and how much it's getting reported out. I mean, those two are reliable. Beyond that, it's more hit and miss. More so, and less so, depending on where exactly. Jeez, that could be interesting. Loki against Loki. And we already know there are 2 seasons of that show, so that'll be fun too. Somebody screwed up and mentioned that one. Whoops. And so they eventually confirmed it anyway. Yeah, especially with sites that don't exactly have a great track record. I mean, they do have their hits, but a number of those sites have so many misses on their rumors too, though. So why, yeah, we want to talk about other Spider-Mans showing up in Spider-Man. Maybe. I mean, it seems to fit something that would make a lot of sense. Especially because Electro hit above that level. That actually hit to the level where it's, we really got that stuff out of Jamie Foxx popping up. And if Jamie Foxx's Electro is popping up into the movie, it gives a lot more credence to the rumors about the other Spider-Mans in there or Dr. Octavius. Doesn't mean they will, but gives more credence to it. So many rumors. And I mean, the MCU being as huge as it is, loving its Easter eggs and everything else, man, I mean, I think they love the rumors getting out there to some degree. To some degree. Excuse me. Avengers versus Thunderbolts. Interesting. No, I mean, even when I was doing the weekly news, by the way, back to my comment on the things I avoid doing, it's that exact same thing. I don't tend to talk about anything that's a rumor side. Yeah, that, again, if it comes from Hollywood Reporter or Deadline, then I do go ahead and I treat that as boom, that's probably good. It's like, if it's those two. But yeah, even when it was news, I wouldn't even report on the rumors as a general note. There are the rare exceptions. The Spider-Man pieces are amongst the rare exceptions of the rumors that I actually do talk about in that way. Oh yeah, you're right. Variety is too. Yeah, Variety is definitely in amongst that as well. They don't break as much for that area, but yeah, certainly if it were to be in Variety, I would agree with you. I would trust it coming from Variety, Hollywood Reporter, or Deadline. All three of those. Yep. Yep, indeed. But yeah, as I said, it's one of those. If it came out of there, I'd report it in a news thing. If it was a rumor thing, I'd usually just ignore it and not even touch it. Because, I mean, I was doing news videos. What's the point of reporting on a rumor anyway? Rumors are a dime a dozen when it comes to some of these things, especially the MCU. So many rumors out there. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Young Avengers getting set up, and not just because of that, but because there's a lot of other pieces. So, I'm not going to go touch spoilers, but yeah, there are a lot of different pieces that seem to be lining up between different shows and movies that are coming out that would seem to imply a possibility of Young Avengers. Yeah. leaks are messy. I mean, heck, we also have Ironheart eventually coming up. Speaking of a Young Avengers thing, right? Ironheart's going to be, what, probably 2023 is my guess on when Ironheart comes out. But that's another piece that could play into Young Avengers right there. So, definitely a few pieces that could. And wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and Miss Marvel this year. Yes, of course. I mean, this year has a couple. So, it could be interesting. Definitely see the possibility for it coming up right there. And there's so many good-sounding shows coming up. Well, by the way, while we're talking about rumors and things coming out of Hollywood Reporter or Deadline, dang, the Tatiana Maslany stuff in terms of She-Hulk was so bloody amusing. Oh, it's like just how they have to go ahead and deny their involvement, even when it makes no sense to deny it anymore. Oh, what you have to do because that's what your contract is. You have to deny it. Even though at that point, the creators of the show had already congratulated you on getting the part publicly. It had been reported by like Hollywood Reporter and or Deadline and whatnot. And hey, just for bonus points, Mark Ruffalo had even given her congratulations for getting the part too. And she still had to deny it. Oh, so amusing. What was it somebody said? It's like, hey, if somebody says, like on Patrick Stewart, it was, Patrick Stewart says Kevin Feige talked to him about being in the MCU, but he said no. Which always makes you have to wonder just a little bit, because he have to say no regardless of whether he said yes or no. But if Kevin Feige talked to him, that tells you something. Anyone here work in the movie business? Nope. Certainly not here. Yeah, no, Young Avengers would be fun. I don't know which way they go. Are they going to go? Would they go movies with it? Show with it? Some combination? That'd be an interesting question too. Well, I mean, when it comes to anything out of the MCU for me, I mean, anything out of the MCU has benefit of the doubt automatically for me, just because the MCU has done so well, with all movie after movie after movie. Yes, there may be some that I find weaker than others, sure, but I mean, dang, if you can go ahead and keep that kind of a record going, you've got the benefit of the doubt from me for whatever the heck you choose to do. So yeah, here's hoping. Good things on Miss Marvel, good things on Ironheart, good things on She-Hulk coming up next year, and well, of course, all the other stuff this year. The Secret Wars stuff, which is apparently a show. That one's still weirding me out that it's going to be a show instead of, like, say, a big Avengers movie or something. I'm still got to assume that it's like a show leading up to a movie, maybe? I'm super wondering on that one. All of these things that we shall see. We shall see what we shall see in terms of what they become or don't become, right? I'm also curious just how much of the year will be shows and whatnot for the MCU next year. I know this year is heavier because of 2020 getting backed up into it. And so that's why the MCU has completely taken over 2021. But I assume it won't be quite as packed in 2022. But who knows? I mean, if they could command and control an entire year, why the hell not? And Star Wars is like, hey, me too. I want to play in that ballpark. We also want to have shows coming out every week of the year. They just have to work up to it a little bit first. Yeah, a show leading up to a movie makes sense for me in terms of Secret Wars. Is Doctor Strange 2 the Phase 4 Avengers level film? Well, no, I mean, it's not actually an Avengers film, so we won't get to that till whenever we get to it, right? I mean, unless we're talking about how Civil War is kind of an Avengers level film and things like that. If we're saying that, sure, but I haven't heard about the casting in either of those two to be big enough for it, though. I mean, I've heard about a lot of people in them, but because of how big the Avengers are now, what is an Avengers level film at this point? I mean, the very first Avengers was only 6 Avengers. And then, sure, we also had Nick Fury in there, Coulson was in there, and Hill was in there. And none of the 3 is big, but I mean, that's how big an Avengers movie was back there. I mean, if you want to talk about getting 6 people in, yeah, I'm sure we'll get 6 people in somewhere. But for getting a real giant cast, I don't know. I'm not sure the Phase 4 is going to have one in that sense. That's the real question I have. I feel like Phase 4, the idea always feels like Phase 4 was a cool down period and a refresh period. So I'm not sure that Phase 4 gets an Avengers level film, and that it's not really till Phase 5 that you actually have one pop up. I don't know. We'll see what we see. When it comes to it, they spent a decade building up the first complete climax over the course of using just a few Avengers films, 4 plus then Civil War if you want to count it. I mean, I expect they'll take their time in building up their next gigantic thing, so we probably won't see too many, but then also if we're getting Young Avengers and other things going there, we have other ways that we can bring groups together without using the entire size of the incredibly big group that continues to get way, way bigger. So we could be seeing big team-up movie, and then here's a different big team-up movie, but they're not the same people, maybe with a little crossover. Now that would be intriguing too. I'd love to see it, really. And then eventually you build up to the huge thing that really has everybody coming in. Yeah. As you're saying there, yeah, Doctor Strange will have Wanda in it, Spidey will be there. And then we know that other people will be elsewhere, like Monica Rambeau is going to be over in, Spider-Man, right? I mean, there's crossover everywhere. Miss Marvel's going to go ahead and also be in Doctor Strange, right? Man, I'm trying to keep my own wires straight on this one as to what we know. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just part of what's going on with the MCU at this point, is you're going to see people crossing in and out between the different shows and movies, and that's something that is a big change in terms of how Phase 4 and probably everything going forward for the MCU will work. Yes, I mean, horror's never my favorite genre, but yes. I mean, I do enjoy some horror movies, to be sure. And I'm curious to see what exactly that really means for the MCU, assuming they really do go there, which is the assumption. And with Sam Raimi directing, just saying. Yeah. I know she's going to be in Captain Marvel too, but I thought she had something else she was going to be in first that we had heard. I don't remember off the top of my head though, so yeah, don't take that. That's just top of the head right there. But I thought there was something else we had heard that she'd be in. But yeah, Might just be that. But yeah, one of the things we're waiting on still number of episodes and things. Yeah, horror can be, oh yeah, when paired with suspense, definitely. Oh yeah, to be sure. To be sure. Now, it's going to be interesting to see the MCU being more willing to play with other things. I think WandaVision is really the beginning of being willing to play darker. And let's be frank, WandaVision has been willing to play a lot darker than the MCU generally has been willing to play in the past. And I think that's probably going to be true of Doctor Strange. It'll be darker than we've usually seen the MCU go. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to necessarily be super dark or anything. But also, heck, Deadpool will be coming into the MCU. And by all reports, it will still be rated R. That's a change for the MCU as well, right there. So again, the MCU is changing. And yet, also with how much content they're putting out, they can get away with that. Because guess what? Yeah, it's just one piece out of an insane amount of things we're doing every year. Yeah, Sam Raimi does know how to handle horror. This is for sure. And how to spoof it, too, if he wants to. Dang if he doesn't. Or satirize it. I guess it's more satirizing than spoofing. Yeah, satirizing. Anyway. It'll be fun if Marvel just did solo shows and then crossovers. Yeah, I don't know that Han Solo fits into the MCU so much, though. I mean, I guess that could get us our sequel to Solo, though. Yeah. In seriousness, though. Yeah, no, doing solo shows and crossovers and films. Agreed, although, I mean, I love the crossovers between the shows, too. And we're clearly going to be getting crossovers from the shows. And also characters that were in the movies and then come down to the shows. And, it's the connected universe that, well, we all hoped for back with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything else. And didn't really get. So we're finally getting it. Which is great. Yep. Yes, and he knows how to do a good superhero movie. Most certainly. As I said, let's be frank, without his Spider-Man movies, who knows what the MCU would look like right now. I mean, those were hugely influential in terms of superhero movies right there. So, yeah, who knows? So, yes, indeed. And by the way, there's a fun piece, too, that I've thought about. Let's assume that over here in the finale of... finale of the year, anyway, was the new Spider-Man movie. Let's assume that actually, the rumors are right. We do actually have Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire popping up, and Electro and Dr. Octavius from the other universes. It's already been an interesting thing with what all you need to watch to be ready to go ahead and see an upcoming MCU movie. But as soon as you do that and say, oh yeah, now you also want to see those 5 Spider-Man movies on top of the previous 2 Spider-Man movies, and also this movie over here, and also this show over here. This oh man, the amount you need to see to really be able to appreciate it on that level. All the more important when you have those, hey, watch this to catch up on everything first. And at least Marvel, the MCU has finally figured out that they should do that themselves. And now that Disney Plus exists, they have a place to do it. And I did actually look at their thing for both Wanda and Vision. They did a nice job with it, really. I was surprised. I thought it'd just be a slap together, cheap job, and that's what they'd do with it. That was what I expected. And they actually did a nice job. Whoever was put in charge of it really put their work into it. So, nicely done. Certainly could be in terms of Agatha. I'm going to avoid jumping there more. And again, More than 2.5 hours in, though. Oh, wow, more than 3 hours in. More than 3 hours in, probably anybody here has watched it already anyway, but... Let's see, one other show, which the Armor Wars show. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Don Cheadle, War Machine, will actually go ahead and get his own show in there. It's like, definitely that'll be cool. He finally gets one. So we'll get to see him go ahead and lift the tank and be like, boom! And have an audience that'll actually really like it, right? I still love that line. There's some great characterization in that movie. Whatever else people might want to go ahead and cast aspersions at Age of Ultron, but there's so much good stuff in there. Yes. It's one of the nice things now that we have the shows is we can give more love to minor characters or things that we don't have time for otherwise when you're only doing, well, even at 3-4 movies a year, even if you're doing that much, you just don't have enough time. The MCU is so big. Oh, is there? There's an Ahsoka playlist in the Star Wars section? I didn't even know they did that. How intriguing. Huh. Cool. Very cool. Woohoo. It's like, what other characters do we not know? I mean, that already exist in the MCU that really need to get their own time and spotlight, huh? I mean, I guess we could argue for some of the Guardians right there. I could argue for some of the Guardians getting some more time, really. Although I guess Groot will get his own show. Or as a baby Groot thing, I think. I can think of some ones from Ant-Man, for instance, that just have not gotten their time. Like some of the ones that just got introduced in the last movie, Ghost and whatnot. That would be interesting. Really dig a little more there, because I'm not sure where they're going. And also Lawrence Fishburne's character, I can't think of what his name is. But I'd love to see some more with them. Heck, I'd love to see a show that was Hank Pym and, oh shoot. Well, anyway, OG Ant-Man and the Wasp. Can we set a show back in that time period? That would be fun right there. I don't know who you get to go ahead and do the parts or whatever, because of the age, but, oh, that could be fun. Anyway. Let's see. Do I think that War Machine should have gotten the start glass instead of Spider-Man? No. It never would have made sense to give them to Rhodey. As I said, it just... Especially given his relationship to the military and everything else, Rhodey doesn't make sense to have that power and that tech. If he were to retire out of the military, then maybe you'd have a different argument. But even then, Rhodey was never Tony's protege. He was never anything like that, so no. I mean, the only other direction you really go is someone more like, we're talking about an Ironheart later on eventually, but because that kind of is a person that inherits that mantle to some degree. But of course, that doesn't exist in this and has no direct connection. So no, Spidey was the obvious, even if he's not quite ready to wield that power necessarily. But yeah, the other possibility would be Pepper. Pepper would be the other logical place to go, but Rhodey really isn't it, and Pepper probably wouldn't want it anyway. So. Yes, exactly. Having skipped over Hank and Janet, exactly. Me too. That's what I was saying. But hey, they can still go back and do it. They've got the time to. So hopefully they do. Because I mean, there are clearly stories, and heck, we even know it ends up ending in tragedy. I mean, wouldn't that be a theme when you know that you are building at the end of whatever length of show or whatever to a tragedy there? It's like, oof. Dang. And I still want the rest of my Agent Carter show, dang it. It's like, oh, that show had so much potential leading up to the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. Anyway. Although I guess it's not Marvel Studios, so it doesn't really fit in the same way, but same deal. However they want to do it, I want my Agent Carter show. So there. What other minor characters are people that just haven't been explored yet? Because there certainly are some others sitting in there. And I mean, we've been tossing in more little people from time to time. I assume what's-his-face from Iron Man 3, the kid, I assume he's going to probably pop back in here later? Who knows? I don't know. See, I mean, he was at the funeral, so you never know. So that would be interesting. I'm not going to say anybody in Black Panther just because Black Panther 2 is going to come out. Heck, we're going to get a Black Panther, or a Wakanda show, I should say, not necessarily a Black Panther show. We're going to get a Wakanda show. By the way, everybody knows about that. You all know we're getting a Wakanda series, right? I said that got announced just 2-3 weeks ago. Something like that. So, yeah, we're getting one of those. So that's going to be pretty freaking cool. Oh, pretty freaking cool. But, yeah, we got lots of cool stuff coming up. And, oh, man, I do wonder how much of the year will the MCU own? In future years beyond this one. And then as Star Wars keeps expanding too. Gonna be fun keeping up with everything. Yeah, I mean, War Machine will probably make an appearance in Ironheart. I mean, that would make sense. I would see that, sure. Sure. Yes, me too. Oh, it's so sad when that got canceled. Dang. Yeah. And I suppose at least we're getting a little bit of a what if. And we've gotten a little bit of her over in terms of, Endgame. But, it's not the same. I mean, the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. like that would be, such a fun thing to see. Really would. So yeah, no, those are some of them. I'm sure there's some other minor characters I'm just not thinking about right now. Nick Fury's finally going to get a little more action when we get over to things, which Nick Fury's needed more action. I mean, it's always impressive, but you always feel like he should have a little bit more going. And obviously Black Widow and Hawkeye are finally getting their own this year. Finally. And let's see. Talking about other people who should get their own sometime. Maria Hill. We need Maria Hill to get something more. I don't know what. Show, movie. I mean, she's never going to be like the main character. Unless maybe we had something that was more S.H.I.E.L.D. or sword focused or something. But, dang it. She's an interesting character. She did pop into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a few times. But, obviously, whether we can't really call that canon anyway on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so, But yeah, no, we definitely need to see some more Maria Hill. Definitely. I can talk about all kinds of people from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that doesn't really count as MCU, so I can't really say it. But I hope so. I mean, if that show can be recanonized in some way or brought into the fold, I mean, there are so many characters I want to continue to see from there. Yeah, Maria Hill being in there would be cool. Or a secret agent show, yes. Just started a new show on Star today. It's called The Gifted. Please no spoilers. Okay, I know nothing about it, so I certainly won't spoil it myself. And now that you've said, no one else will inherit either. So what the heck is The Gifted anyway? another X-Men kind of one there. So 20th century. Gotcha. Cool. Oh, okay. Right. I think I have heard of that one before. Now that I'm looking at it. I was thinking it was a new thing. Okay, no, this is ended a couple years ago. Okay. Yeah, there are a couple of those different Fox X-Men shows, one way or another, out there. I still haven't seen Legion either, for that matter, so got to see that sometime. I've heard good things about Legion. And there's a pair of a couple people too that also came out that was supposed to be good, but I think it only got a season maybe. So yeah, no, there's some good things there. Got to see some of those sometime. Let's see. So yeah, certainly no spoilers on that. I see why you're worried about it since it came out a couple of years ago. That makes sense. Let's see. Secret Agent show. Man, that would be fun. And I said, get our Secret Agent show. We'll go ahead and pull in Melinda May. We'll get Coulson in there. But yeah, we'll have to have May, Coulson. Maybe we'll bring in some other people. Maybe we could have Daisy in there. We go ahead and flash back to Agent Carter. We have Maria Hill in the present. Nick Fury can pop in on occasion. Who knows? We can have all kinds of fun with that. So many ways you could go with that if you wanted to. One thing I miss, and because the shows in the MCU now are just these, hey, it's 5 hours and that's it. Or maybe 5 hours twice in the case of Loki. It's an interesting thing, but we're never going to be able to get quite the kind of depth you could get from something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which had so many episodes. And I miss that a little. That we'll never be able to get that big for a show. Marvel content every week right there. Yes, indeed. Every week for the rest of the year. No doubt about that. And again, remember, in between when we have the gaps, like we have the documentary on the last thing that was just made. So, every week of the year. Pretty dang cool. Pretty dang cool. Go ahead and put out a little teaser out there when I didn't catch that one on the Nameless Spider-Man. Oh, I admit I thought there was more of a teaser than that, but hey, we dropped a name. That was fun. Oh yeah, you gotta go watch Agent Carter sometime. Yes, definitely go watch that. Agent Carter was good. The animator Warner superhero stuff is generally good, though. Yeah, definitely. Definitely generally. I have to say generally. Let's see. Everyone here's seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good, too. Now, admittedly, if you just started watching it and you dropped out before you were a little over halfway through season 1, then, well, that part of the show is not anywhere near as good in that sense. But, once it picks up, it never lets go. So you just got to get there. Yeah, no spoilers. I will just say that. Stick with it. Stick with it. It's worth it. And hey, when you get to season 7 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. eventually, I did actually do videos on that as it was coming out last year. So you can actually go catch that once you actually get up to season 7. I mean, the channel wasn't around when they were doing seasons 1 through 6, so you won't see any videos on those. I haven't made anything. I keep debating going back and making something on that, but like everything else, I mean, there's just many things to talk about. Oh, let me also, while we are talking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a moment, without spoilers, of course, let me also say that the other thing you can do on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is you can check out, let's see if I pop it up here. Because Elizabeth Henstridge has a YouTube channel, and she brings on all kinds of guests on this, and I wish I'd been able to keep up on all that, but sure as heck I have not. I don't have the time. But let me just pop this in here. There, I'm just popping that over into the chat right there. But that's Elizabeth Henstridge's YouTube channel. Now, for what it's worth, for anybody who knows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she plays Simmons. But if you are watching through and like have already watched it or whatever, she's been live streaming through watch-alongs with a number of the things, as well as now she's like going back through them, and she brings in a number of the other people from within Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So if you want like the behind-the-scenes kind of content and that kind of stuff, you're going to get a lot of it actually in there. So you love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., check out her channel. There is a lot of good behind-the-scenes stuff, especially with that. Well, I suppose we can there, Darscal. I think it's only the two of you right now, though. Unless there's anybody else around right now. I mean, Sportan might still be around, I suppose. I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to say Sportan or Sportan. Or I've always gone with Sportan. Marvel question, huh? Okay. What was the 7th MCU movie? There you go. Whoever can go ahead and answer that one first. Okay, good. Yeah, I've been saying it that way for so long. It's like I'm like, have I ever asked? I don't know if I've ever asked. So good. Okay. Glad you're good with that. It's like, again, if I'm ever pronouncing anybody's name differently than whatever it should be, just let me know. I'm more than happy to go ahead and change it. Well, I asked you a question. I did ask, what the 7th MCU movie was, and I haven't heard an answer yet. So, well, anyway. No, another one that can be fun, but this would be much more fun, well, over, say, like, things you could do on the Discord, right? But you play something, I don't know what it's called elsewhere. I've heard it called Thunderdome, right? Where you just keep naming one thing. You name a category and you keep naming one thing after another in that category. Each person having to name one thing and then doing another round of it. And as people get knocked out one by one, that can be fun. It's not Thor Dark World. That's the 8th, actually. Number 8 right there. Same year as the 7th, but Dark World's 8. So anyway, seems we are winding down right here. That is what it feels like. And I suppose, after 3.5 hours of live streaming, I suppose it makes sense that we're winding down a little bit. Iron Man 3 is correct, yes. That is what it is. there were 6 movies in the Phase 1, and then Iron Man 3 was the first movie of Phase 2. So, yep. And the last Iron Man movie has had 3 Iron Man movies in the first 7. Man, it's so bizarre to think about how many of those were so early on in the MCU. It doesn't feel like they're all packed together that quick. It's like they're almost every other movie in the first 7 there is an Iron Man movie. Not quite that much, but almost. It's really a bit of a gap between 2 and 3, but really you also have Avengers in there too, so. I mean, even Civil War, when you want to come down to that, the last of Captain America's movies was the very first movie of Phase 3. The entire rest of Phase 3, all the way through that, was not Captain America anymore. He was already done with his movies. And the first one of his came out near the end of Phase 1. So there's not a huge spread, actually, between those movies. I mean, it's like 9 out of 9 movies, 3 of them are Captain America movies right there. The Thor movies have probably the best spread, I think, for any of our trilogies yet. Although, I wonder if Guardians will go ahead and change that. Actually, I mean, Thor will have a 4th movie soon, so it won't be a trilogy anymore. Yeah, always wanted an Iron Man 4 movie because of that gap, too. I agree with you. I agree, but he was still so present. Because, I mean, heck, he pops into Civil War, Age of Ultron, putting this backwards, of course, and then everything else. So, I mean, he's just so present through everything. Spider-Man Homecoming, that even without his own movie, he was just almost like omnipresent still within the MCU because he's just so freaking big. Yep, when they were testing out the MCU content. No, exactly, and that's when there was still only, say, 1 or 2 movies a year way back then sometimes. Or actually, the 1 year that had no MCU movie. Well, other than 2020. Other than 2020, there's only been 1 year that had no MCU movie. And that was way back in 2009. Which, intriguingly enough, you had 2 movies, then a blank, then you had the rest pop up. And that was actually where you really had the MCU under its current control and guise. Because Iron Man and Incredible Hulk were done before Disney went ahead and bought it out. They were put into production and all that work was done. It was once you were passing on to... And that's part of the reason for the gap of the year anyway there. Yeah, the first movies, the change of ownership, etc. But then you get to Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, etc. That's Kevin Feige fully in control at that point. Well, as fully in control as he really was at that point, he's gotten more and more control within as time has gone by. To be freaking sure. Yes, they were Marvel Studios movies. This is true. It's just that Marvel Studios got bought by Disney after that, and so that made a change a little bit in how some of that went with. What country was the villain Whiplash from? Eastern European. Beyond that, I'm not sure. It's like... Yeah. Eastern European is the answer I've got on that. Who knows? Maybe Sokovian for all I know. I don't think he is, though. We'll go with Czech Republic. I don't know. Is he actually? Oh, I was thinking he wasn't actually Russian. Oh well. Thought he was actually Eastern European and not Russian. No, I guess he actually was Russian then. Yeah, it's like I thought he was just Eastern European. Oh well. Nah, Feige's been doing a hell of a job. Hell of a job, to be sure. Well. If anyone's got any final questions, go ahead and toss them in. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go ahead and break, get some food, get those videos up here a little bit later today, and yeah, all of that. Also, now that I've thought about it, change the Twitter banner up on top so it has that same little logo on the top. So we're going to do that as well. Okay. Time to stretch it out. Been a good old long stream. Definitely enjoyed spending all the time with all of you. So thank you for joining me there today. As I said, been fun celebrating the 1 year anniversary, the first birthday of the channel right there with everybody. So looking forward to going ahead and seeing y'all. Well, heck, I'm going to see probably a number of you in a little over 24 hours to go watch WandaVision. And that's it. Again, that's still staying on the Freeform Disney channel. So you can expect, as a WandaVision won't change. As to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it might be over on Marvel. I'll let you know as it's coming up to it, though. Okay. Yeah, definitely YouTuber. And thank you so much as well. Thanks for the compliment. And yes, I'm doing live streams for Bad Batch. No questions. No ifs, ands, or buts. It'll be on the Freeform Star Wars channel almost assuredly by that point. Considering that's months from now. So yeah. Here's to year 2 of Freeform Disney family. Freeform Star Wars, Freeform Marvel. Yes. Freeform goodness. I like that. That works even better. Freeform goodness. Okay, so to everybody out there, have a magical day, or night, or evening, morning, whatever time it is for you. And may the Force be with you. Always.